Harissa, with permission.
Yes, please go ahead. Please go
Okay.
ahead.
Shall we start?
A very good afternoon to Mr. Harish Chandra and a
Thank you.
warm welcome to all the participants today. After a wonderful session yesterday, we are looking forward to another interesting session by the resource person, Mr. Harish Chandra today. The topic for today's session is bootcamp on AI, ML, and AI chatbot. Over to you, Harish sir. Let's begin the session today.
Right. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot, sir. All of you, once again, a very good afternoon to everybody. Is my voice audible? Can you hear what I'm saying? Is it clear,
Yes, sir.
audible? All
Yes,
right,
sir.
great. So thanks once again, all of you. We had a wonderful session yesterday. We had a very good participation yesterday, and we had quite a good of interaction. My only hope and my belief is that even today we'll have the same kind of interaction and same kind of chats that we had yesterday. So please keep it in mind as we continue the session for today, right? Whatever doubts, whatever queries you may be having, please start asking me immediately by raising your hands. You can ask me your queries. You can put it in the chat box. We can interact with you directly. Do not wait for the sessions to end because by the time you would have forgotten what to ask. So it's better you keep asking things as you keep attending the talks as we go on. I've got some wonderful things to show you today. A lot of things on which I have worked on personally, and a lot of things are still in the research stage. But I would like to really share with you a lot of wonderful things which you can perhaps see in other countries, but we are doing it here, right? Now, this is the day 2 of my talk. If you see the sequence, it's day 3 of the entire series, but it's day 2 of my talk. We started yesterday. We are today. This is day 2 of my talk, but in the series, it is day 3. We begin, and as we begin, the very first topic I would like you to get introduced to is business analytics. So I just want all of you to take down in your book the word business analytics. While you're dealing with artificial intelligence, and when you're dealing with all kinds of things related to artificial intelligence, now this word of business analytics, it keeps coming up very frequently. All right. Now there are courses on business analytics. There are degrees and there are diplomas on business analytics, and some IITs are also offering, a post-graduation degree or diploma or whatever we call it as in business analytics. So, anybody here in this crowd, we have about 80 people online as of now. So, do you have any idea what is business analytics? Because when you're dealing with artificial intelligence, when you're dealing with machine learning, it is very important for you to know what is business analytics. So anybody here listening to what I'm talking to you right now, do you have an idea like what is business analytics, right? Anyone with an idea of what is business analytics? You can start chatting immediately. I can already see 12 chats onto the screen. All right. Anybody having an idea what is business analytics? Have you heard about this term business analytics? I'm purposely not using the other terms. Business analytics is it's also referred to by other names. There are several other terms and terminologies associated with business analytics, which I'm not using right now. I'm not using that right now. But yeah, I got a chat here. Somebody's trying to give me a reply. Okay, let me see. There are 3 chats. Okay, there is somebody who has written business intelligence. All right. Somebody says the understanding the differences between business requirement and providing the best solution and applying algorithms and analyzing for better decisions. Well, I'm happy that we have started getting participation exactly at 3536, the moment we have started our talk. Anyway, let me take the first person online here. We have Mr. Rishikesh once again. Mr. Rishikesh, I recollect you were there yesterday during our interaction. So, Mr. Rishikesh, can you please come up online and explain what you think is business analytics before I start explaining what is business analytics? So, Mr. Rishikesh, can we have you online?
Hello.
Yeah, organizers, is he online?
Yes, sir. He's online.
Yeah. I guess the volume is a bit low. I'm not able to hear.
Hello.
Yeah, Mr. Rishikesh?
Yeah, business analytics is something wherein a person is understanding the business requirements and the criticalities related to that particular business and providing the solutions by analyzing the analysis by doing the analysis on those situations, and how we can counter those risks.
Okay, okay. Do you have any example to make us understand this? Any typical example from day-to-day life, if you can make us really understand this? Yeah, anything? Anything? Okay. Well, Mr. Rishikesh, you happen to give the correct answer. In fact, you almost hit the bull's eye. And of course, I could see a lot of people giving answers here. So, Mr. Rishikesh, thanks. And please don't forget, everybody is listening online. We have two rules here. Mr. Rishikesh, please stay online. We have two rules, the same rules which we had yesterday. Rule number one is for me to make the things clear. I'm going to make the things entirely clear to you today, as I tried to do yesterday. And the second rule is for all of you to ask me questions. And as you give answers, I still have the perk with me to give you. And by the way, these are fresh perks. These are fresh chocolate perks. These are not the ones which I used yesterday. You can believe me, these are totally fresh ones. So, Mr. Rishikesh, thanks for your query. Thanks a lot for your query. And thanks a lot for the answer which you gave me. I have Madam Maria online. Madam Maria, can you please come up online and tell me, you got a very good answer coming up in the chat group. So, Madam Maria, are you online?
Yes, sir. Good afternoon, sir.
Very good afternoon, madam. Welcome back to this talk.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, please go ahead, madam. You have put something really good in the talk. Please, what is it?
Sir, business intelligence, like earlier, we had decision support systems or
Right.
CRM type of tools or ERP type of tools. Now, what we have is applying that automatically for finding better business solutions. And this semester we have all TYIT teachers must be teaching business intelligence. They must have gone through this churning customers, like maybe find out difference between Airtel and Jio or Vodafone and churn customers better revenue. That is all it all means in this area. One aspect.
Great, madam. Thanks for opening this talk with a very clear explanation of what it was. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you,
can I have Mr. Siddhant, who just raised the hand, Mr. Siddhant. Can I have Mr. Siddhant online? So, Mr. Siddhant, what is business analytics? Mr. Siddhant, can you please come up online? Organizer, are we trying to get in touch with Mr. Siddhant?
Yes, sir. His microphone is not working, I think, because I'm trying to unmute.
Okay, that's okay. Can I have Mr. Kaushal online? Mr. Kaushal Shah. Mr. Kaushal Shah, can you please come online? You gave a very good example in the chat. What is it that you're trying to convey to us? What is it that you're trying to convey to us? Mr. Kaushal.
Okay, in a corporate world, business analytics may be used for sales revenue growth.
Okay.
They compare with the past year with the current year, or they also forecast for the future year. Okay. What would be my revenue or rate, or maybe sales, compare with the sales or region-wise data.
Okay.
Where my products are selling more.
Okay. Okay. So you gave an example of sales in the business world and how the sales revenue can be calculated using business analytics. So, Mr. Kaushal Shah, and more profit. Great. So thanks for this reply. And here is a very simple explanation about what is business analytics. So for everybody online, for all those 73, 80 people online who are listening to me now, and those who are on the YouTube actively listening to what I'm saying, what is business analytics? It's very simple. This is the explanation of what is business analytics. Business analytics means using tools and techniques to turn data into meaningful business insights. All right. Now that single line which I put up there is very important. Using tools and techniques to turn data into meaningful business insights. Now look at the diagram below. There is a diagram. Look at the screen. There is a diagram, right? You have lots of data at the input. Now all those data, they're given to different tools and techniques. They're given as input to different tools and techniques that we have. Now these tools and techniques, they churn the data. They work on the data. They process the data, right? So let me get back to you once again. You have plenty of data coming in. So all the data is taken, right? It is given to tools and techniques. There are plenty of tools and techniques. The data is given to tools and techniques. Now, these tools and techniques, they work on the data. They process the data. And after processing the data, after churning the data, after working with the data, it creates what is called as business insight. Now, what is business insight? Business insight means from lots of data, you get the data and you get the information that you require for your business. That you require for your business. You have plenty of data on the internet. You have lots of data coming up from the internet. In business analytics, you pick up data, you filter data, right? The keyword is filter. Please put it in your book, the keyword. The keyword is filter, F-I-L-T-E-R, filter. In business analytics, the keyword is filter. You pick up lots of data, you pick up plenty of data, right? After picking up the data, you filter them, you process them, you work on the data, and whatever data is unwanted, right? The data which you do not want, you remove those data, and required data for your business, you keep it with you. And that is called as business insight. It's like sorting, right? No, it's like sorting. You sort out, okay, you say this data I want, this data I do not want, this I require, this I do not require. And finally, when you sort out all the required data, you keep it with you. And from that data, you get intelligence, you get information so that you can use it as an insight in your business. So basically, what is business analytics? Business analytics means sorting the data, working on the data, processing the data, where lots of data is available. And from that, getting the data, extracting the data that you require for your business. If my business is, say, it's a legal business, I'm an advocate. So I take data as per my requirement. If I'm in the business of, let's say, hardware development, I'll require certain kind of information. If I run a company which is into logistics or shipping or courier, so I'll require data as per my requirement. Now, this is what is called as business analytics. Please believe me, business analytics is a big billion-dollar business. It's a really big billion-dollar business. Many companies have business analytics officer. There are business analytics scientists. Their job is to make sense of the data. Please put a word in your book, everyone. Please put a word in your book to make sense of the data. You make sense of the data. There are a lot of data available, right? From that data, you make sense. And the next diagram tells you what I'm trying to make you understand. Look at the diagram. On to the left, you have good data. You have messy data. You have garbage data. Again, come back. On the left, you have good data, data that you require. Messy data. Messy in the sense some data is good, some data is not really good. And finally, you have something called as garbage data, which you don't require at all. So all kinds of data exist. Now you work on this combination. And you bring out the data which you require. Now please check the output. In the output, you can see noise is written at the top. Noise is written at the bottom. Right? Now, noise means the data which you don't require, unnecessary data, unwanted data. So noise means unnecessary data, unwanted data. And then between the noise, right? If you see between the noise, you see business insight. Business insight means the data which you require. The data that you're interested in, the data that is good for your business. That is called as business insight. So essentially, what I'm trying to indicate is business analytics is all about sorting of data with the help of tools and techniques and bringing out data which is important for you. Now, if you all look at it, let's quickly go to the next screen. There are three kinds of business analytics. Please write it in your book. This is very important. Please note it down in your book, right? There are three kinds of analytics. Number one, descriptive analytics. Number two, predictive analytics. And number three, prescriptive analytics, right? Once again, let's get back. When you look at business analytics, there are three kinds here. There are three types here. Number one is descriptive analytics. Number two is predictive analytics. And number three is prescriptive analytics. Now, what do you mean by these three? Now, what do you mean by these three? It's very clearly written on screen and you can watch. The first one is descriptive analytics. Descriptive analytics means using data, you find out what happened. What happened? Let me tell you once again. Descriptive analytics means using data, you find out what happened, right? What happened? Now look at the list once again. There is something called as predictive analytics. Predictive analytics tells you, using data, what might happen in the future. What might happen in the future. Predictive analytics tells you, using data, what might happen in the future. It has not happened so far. It has not happened so far. So what might happen in the future? That is a prediction. That is a prediction. And that is why it is called as predictive analytics. That's why it's called as predictive analytics, right? Now look down below, look down below. You have something called as prescriptive analytics. Prescriptive analytics. Now, prescriptive tells you, if you look at the list very carefully, what action should you take? What should you do if something goes wrong? What should you do if something goes wrong, right? So first one, descriptive analytics. Using data, you understand what happened. Number two, you have predictive analytics. Using data, you understand what might happen. And number three, prescriptive analytics. Using data, you understand what should we do? What should we do? Right? Now, there are a lot of people online as of now, and I'm not sure how many people actually know about descriptive, predictive, and prescriptive. So I'm going to ask a question once again, right? I want you to tell me, all of you, please look at the screen and give me one example of descriptive analytics, one example of predictive analytics, and one example of prescriptive analytics. Only the example. It is not compulsory that your example should be from the domain of computers and IT. You can give an example from any domain. It doesn't matter from where you give. Please give me one example from descriptive analytics, one example from predictive analytics, and one example from prescriptive analytics. I'm leaving the forum open now for you to give me an answer. You can just put one line in the chat, that's all. You can put one word in your chat, that's all. I look at that and I'll pull the answer. That's not a problem. I started getting chats here. People have started giving replies. So let me look at the first one coming up here in the chat. All right. Okay. All right. Fine. I'm getting some answers. I'm getting some answers. Let me invite Mr. Kaushal Shah once again. Mr. Kaushal Shah, can you please come up online once again and give me an example of all this? Mr. Kaushal Shah, can you kindly come up online?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, please.
Yeah, sir, I will explain in the form of an example.
Please.
And perspective analysis. Let's take an example. ITC company. ITC company has a lot of products. They are into different brands, right? Now, in that organization, they want to analyze. They want to sell a particular product. That product gets sold, say, lost in certain region. So they want to find out what happened, why the product has not been success, right? So descriptive analytics will give me the answer what make wrong in promotion the particular product.
All right, that's good. That's good.
Second, in predictive analysis, the management will take the decision. The management will take the call. How do we overcome the loss which has been happened, right? In the descriptive part. And perspective analysis, what should step we have to taken?
Mr. Kaushal Shah, a big round of applause to you. A big round of applause to you. You have explained it very clearly with clear example. So as promised, one Perk chocolate is all yours virtually. Please accept it virtually. It's all yours. Thanks for this answer. Can I have Madam Sangeeta Menon online? Madam Sangeeta Menon, can you please come up online? Madam Sangeeta Menon, can you please come up online? You have given some very good answers in your group chat. All right, organizers. Is Madam Sangeeta online?
Trying, sir.
Okay. Okay, if she's not available, can I have Madam Anita
She's
Gaikwad
Hello.
online?
She's there. She's
Yeah,
there.
who's this? Who's
Hello.
this?
Hello.
Sangeeta, ma'am.
Good afternoon, sir.
Very good afternoon, madam. Please welcome to this second day of our talk and third day in the series. Please let us know what is the example of descriptive, prescriptive, and predictive.
So in descriptive analysis, we do Facebook analysis like tagging, and in Twitter, we collect the examples of the tweets, and through that we make a assurance whether the answer which was given by in the tweet is in a positive way or in a negative way. Then we annotate it, and then we go to NLP. Okay.
Right.
And then coming on to predictive analysis, wherein we create a statistical model using some classifiers where we predict the opening and the closing prices of the stocks. Okay. We'll study the company's growth and progress. Using that, we can buy shares. We can make people buy shares through it. And prospective analysis is through this we can plan the growth of the company. That is it.
Super. Now, madam, you have given such a good reply. I am very delighted to give you 2 chocolates for this excellent answer. So accept these 2 virtual chocolates from my side. Thanks a lot, madam. Thank you. Thanks. Can I have Madam Anita Gaikwad online? Organizers, Madam Anita Gaikwad. I'm seeing fantastic answers coming up online. I'm so happy with the session here. Madam Anita Gaikwad, can you please come up online?
Good afternoon, sir.
Very good afternoon, madam. Please welcome back to the session.
Thank you.
Please give us an idea of what is descriptive, what is predictive, what is prescriptive.
So I gave the example of the Uber company.
Yeah, that's the reason I got it online.
So I can say that for the descriptive analysis, we can analyze the past data that we had, whatever the customers in the Uber. In the predictive analysis, we can search customers, and for the we can recommend them again for the future. Okay. And for the prescriptive analysis, we can give them more discounts so that they will come back to us. Fantastic, madam. Fantastic. You have given again a very clear-cut example of what this is all about. The session is getting quite excited. So excited that one more chocolate comes to you, ma'am. This is for you exclusively. Thank you so much. Thanks a lot, madam. Thanks a lot. All right. Now we had a very interesting query session here, and we saw what is descriptive analytics. Descriptive says what happened, right? Predictive analytics says what might happen in the future, and prescriptive says what you must do. Let me tell you, all the 3 analytics are used extensively in all kind of sectors. In oil and natural gas sectors, we use this. In banking sectors, we use this. In retail sectors, we use this. I mean, they are used everywhere. So if you have the knack, if you have the knowledge of how to use the 3 analytics to your advantage, let me tell you, it's going to go a long way, right? Now, everybody, all of us, we know that the whole world is under this coronavirus grip. We are in the grip of coronavirus, right? Now, there's a lockdown, and it is expected by the end of this month, the lockdown is going to be lifted with restrictions. It's going to be unlocked once again, unlock India. So a lot of exciting things are going to happen. Among the chat, I saw the chat here. Among the chat, I found one participant who is very sharp enough to use an example from the present times. The present times of coronavirus and the COVID lockdown and all that stuff. Somebody has analyzed that situation, and that person has created an example from that situation, like using coronavirus and COVID as a backdrop. That person has created an example of descriptive, predictive, and prescriptive. Can I invite Madam Maria online? Madam Maria, can you please come up online? You have written something very exciting in your group chat. Please come up online and share your ideas with us quickly. Yes, Madam Maria.
Yes, sir. Sir, this is regarding the kiosks which are there in malls, which data scientists or analysts they use to find out what time the malls are busy, or what trend of clothing is being used by the recent youth people, or like we may not give our personal information on that kiosk, but it will be like what types of clothes we are selecting. That pattern is taken at the back end. Maybe MongoDB is used, or any other type of data base is used, and through the data warehouse it is taken for further analysis. And I found that during COVID-19, what happened was, like, there was a pattern. There was something to be trained. Machine could train something, get a pattern from customers, the busy time in the mall, not so busy time in the mall, the peak time where all they are waiting. But during COVID-19, it was a complete lockdown, so there is no learning going on over there. So then descriptive was how the data analyst would think what might happen, and prescriptive is once the lockdown is unlocked right now, if the malls are open, or through Myntra or through Amazon, what can be done, what should be done to again bring that training pattern among customers. I found that could be prescriptive analysis, one of the example under clothing sector or retail industry.
Okay, madam, your analysis was very accurate. It was so accurate. I'm so happy with your analysis. I would really like to gift you a OnePlus 60 mobile phone, absolutely free of charge to you as a prize. But of course, I cannot offer to you right now. It's a virtual gift from my side. Please accept it, because no longer chocolates for this answer. This answer requires a bigger prize. This is a mobile to you. So thanks a lot, man. Thanks a lot for this very good analysis of yours. Now, if you look at the screen, there are a lot of things which you should understand about data analytics. And one is about the different buzzwords that are being used, right? People use this word business intelligence. People use this word decision science. People use this word data science. Essentially, all these things, let me repeat it for you once again. Business intelligence, decision intelligence or decision science, and data science, and all that blah, blah, blah stuff. They all are closely related to business analytics. So when I talk about business analytics, when I explain to you about business analytics, all these three words which I'm showing on screen, business intelligence, decision science, and data science, they all are closely associated with each other. So when people tell you that I'm learning data science, right? Or if somebody says, I'm learning decision science, or somebody says, I'm working in a company which is into business intelligence. Essentially, all of them are telling you that they are doing something which is very close to business analytics, right? And in artificial intelligence and machine learning, this skill is very important. This skill is very important. So if you're going to be a master, obviously you cannot do a mastery in 2 days session. It takes a lot of time, a lot of effort to do this. But then if you really want to master, you need to know something about what is business analytics, the types of business analytics, and whatever those stuff which you just happen to see right now. I'm going to continue with artificial intelligence, but there are 2-3 topics which I'll just touch and go. I'm not going to get into the depth of these topics, but these topics are part of artificial intelligence. So I would like to tell about these things to you, right? I'm not going to get into the depths of all this. I'm just going to touch and go. That's it. Now, what is artificial intelligence? It's a small recap of what we saw yesterday, right? So yesterday we saw artificial intelligence is a way of making a computer that can understand, that can think, that can learn, and that can behave like human beings, right? So we are trying to make a computer like a human being, the way we work, the way we operate, the way we think, and the way we learn. We are trying to make a computer which can be exactly like that. And that is what is artificial intelligence is all about. Now, watch carefully. I'm going to skip this for a while and come to this topic. Please take down in your book a topic called as fuzzy logic. Please take down in your book a topic called as fuzzy logic. If you're working with artificial intelligence, if you're working with machine learning, you should know what is fuzzy logic. What is fuzzy logic? What is fuzzy logic? Now, I have put up 3 points on screen and I've shown a box below. I've put 3 points on screen. I put a box below. And I've been told that this crowd today here, it is a mix of people with background in artificial intelligence and machine learning and without any kind of background. So I'm trying to make it very simple so that everybody can understand, everybody can digest it. What is fuzzy logic? What is fuzzy logic? It's very simple. Fuzzy logic is the way we reason with your brain. We reason with our brain, the way we think, right? The way we think. Generally, okay, generally what happens is, in a computer, all of us know, we are all teachers, we are all having our background in IT and computer science. We know that computer accepts only two states. It's binary. A computer accepts only two states, which is binary, which is true or false, yes or no, right? Only these two states are predominant in a computer. Either it is true or it is false. Either it is yes or it is no. What is fuzzy logic? Please understand, all of you, our human brain, or we as human beings, we do not think like a computer. Our thoughts are not binary. We don't think yes and no. We have between yes and between no, we have some more states in between. We have some more states in between. Look down to that chart which I have shown. There is a box I have shown. Look at that particular chart. A computer can say yes, but we can say certainly yes, right? You can look at the screen. We can say possibly yes. A computer can say no, right? It's two states, binary, yes and no. A computer can say no, but we can say varieties of no. Now, what are the varieties of no? One variety is possibly no, and the second variety is certainly no. Of course, we also have the opinion of saying cannot say. I cannot say whether this is yes. I cannot say whether this is no. So we do not say no, we do not say yes, we say cannot say. We are very neutral. This is the way our human brains think. This is how we think as a human brain. We don't think like a computer between yes and no, between 0 and 1, between true and false. We have a lot of states in between. We have plenty of analog states in between. Our brain is not binary. Our brain is analog with a lot of states in between. Now, this is called as fuzzy logic. This is called as fuzzy logic. Everybody, please look at the screen. I've got an example to show this to you. It's an example. It is just an example, right? Please take it as an example and don't try to go too deep into this example. It is just a representation. It is just a representation of fuzzy logic. It's a representation of fuzzy logic, right? Now, in this representation, in this example, you can see a room and there is an air conditioner running in this room. There is an air conditioner running in this room, right? Now, how come this example is of a fuzzy logic? How come this example is of a fuzzy logic? Please understand, fuzzy logic means it's not yes, it is not no, it accommodates the states between yes and no. Lots of yeses, lots of no's, varieties of yeses, varieties of no. Now, if I give an example of an air conditioner, right? A typical air conditioner which you have in your house, in your schools, in your colleges, in your offices, right? How is an air conditioner or the system, the ecosystem of air conditioner, how that represents a fuzzy logic example? How is that a fuzzy logic example? I'm opening this forum now for you to give me an answer. Come on, please raise your hands and give an answer. The diagram, please look at the diagram. Focus on the diagram. Focus on the diagram. Look at this diagram and tell me, why do you think this is a fuzzy logic example? It is a fuzzy logic example. Why? How? Please connect the previous slide with this slide. And the previous slide was this. The previous slide was this. And the current slide is this. Now, how do you say this is an example? It is an example of fuzzy logic. Now, who can give me an answer? Which participant can give an answer from looking at this diagram? Yes, please. Yes, please. I'm waiting for your answer. Raise your hands if you know the answer. You can put it on the chat. I will invite you to speak to me and we can go ahead with this. Yes, I'm waiting. Who can give me an example? Fuzzy logic, fuzzy logic. Is it that difficult that nobody is answering? Oh, I got a chat. I got a chat. Every time I see a chat window opening, I'm so happy. All right. Okay. Okay. Well. The answer is not very clear in the chat. Okay. All right. Well, we have an answer here. We have an answer here. Fine. Can I invite Mr. Kaushal Shah once again? Can I invite Mr. Kaushal Shah once again on this forum? Mr. Kaushal Shah, can you please come up online?
Yes, sir. Should I explain in the form of example? Like
please, sir. Please go ahead. Please, sir. Please go ahead.
Okay. In an organization, there are a number of employees, right?
Okay.
Now, it's a centrally AC available, or some company doesn't have a centrally AC. Now, some employee does not require temperature. They doesn't want to work in an AC. Some require high temperature of AC. Some require this. So human tendencies change. Human tendencies change based on yes or no.
Right.
We might require, we might not require. So over there, the system works in a fuzzy logic system. At what room temperature on an average basis required, so that everybody can satisfy their work.
Okay. Okay. That means what you're trying to indicate is some people just say, I want it cold. Some people say, I want it warm. Some say it should neither be very cold, neither it should be very warm. It should be somewhere in between. Some say it should be 24 degrees centigrade. I'm happy with that temperature. Some says I want freezing. You know, it must be about 16 degrees. So there is no hot, there is no cold. There are variations of hot and cold depending upon the employees who are sitting close to that AC. Is that what you're trying to indicate, Mr. Kaushal?
Yes, sir.
Right. Mr. Kaushal, excellent. Your answer has hit the bull's eye. Thanks for coming online. Thanks a lot for coming online.
Thank you.
Okay. Yeah. Organizers, I think organizers, I think what we can do is the people who are trying to come up online frequently with correct answers, we must make a list of those people and send congratulatory emails to them. Those who do active participation, those who are doing active participation, there are a lot of names coming up very frequently. And I do hope many people are going to come up frequently today also. So all those participants who are coming up frequently to ask questions and get the things clarified, I'm grateful to you. I'm really thankful to you. But then if we can send congratulatory emails appreciating their effort to come online and ask the queries and clarify certain things, it will be great. So organizers, please take a note of this. We can send emails to them personally congratulating them. So thanks, Mr. Kaushal. And I've got a chat coming up once again here. Let me see what is this chat telling me about. Great, thanks a lot. Geeta Madam, one of the organizers, thanks a lot for this quick reply of yours. Let us send mails to the people who answer the queries frequently and who take part in our chats very frequently. All right. Now, all of you, just look at the screen. Look at the screen. Give me a second. All right. The next topic is natural language processing, NLP. I'm not going to speak in greater detail about NLP. It's a very big topic. Like I can speak for the entire day on what is NLP and how it is to be used. But for those who do not know what is NLP, I'm going to cover this from that angle. Please remember our slide yesterday. I said to you yesterday, the main focus of our topic, like for today and yesterday, was quick knowledge, instant knowledge. Like, we're not going to get into unnecessary theory. No unnecessary theory. We are going to come to the point, right? And to the point, what is natural language processing? It's very simple. In natural language processing, we are going to communicate with our computer or to the machine using our own natural languages, such as English or Hindi or whatever are the regional languages available. Fine. Let me repeat it to you once more. Natural language processing means we communicate with the computer using our own language. It can be English, it can be Spanish, it can be French, it can be Sanskrit in India, right? It can be Hindi, it can be any other language, but we make the computer ready to accept our language. We make the computer ready to accept our language. Now, the computer can accept the instructions in your own language. In your own language. If you belong to the southern part of India, if you belong to the southern part of India, and you speak South Indian languages, so what you can do is using NLP, using natural language processing, you can create a computer system. You can create a machine using softwares and artificial intelligence and a lot of other stuff, which I cannot tell you right now. You can make this possible. Like you give instructions in your own language, and the computer understands instructions in your own language, right? Yesterday, we had a participant, I forget which participant was that. Yesterday, when we talked about Google Home and Google Voice Assistant and Alexa, all those intelligent voice operated devices, like voice recognition devices. One participant told us yesterday that she gives commands to the voice assistant, Google Voice Assistant, in our own language, in our own mother tongue, and it recognizes it. It is possible. We can program the systems. We can program Google Home or Google Assistant or Google Echo or whatever, Amazon Echo, whatever. We can make them understand our language. And this is called as natural language processing, right? making the computer understand what we are going to speak in our own language. There is a chat coming up here. Give me a second's time. And the chat here says, all right, give me a second. Okay, that was, oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. In the chat, everybody is telling me that the person who told this to me yesterday was Maria Madam. So Maria Madam, can I get back to you online quickly for a second? Can I get back to you quickly for a second? Maria Madam, can you please come back on the forum once again? Yes, Maria Madam?
Yes, sir.
Madam, yesterday, whatever you said to us, like you were using your own local
Alexa.
languages to speak, Alexa.
Yes, sir.
I'm just curious to know, because we are on the topic of natural language processing, which South Indian language did you use precisely?
Tamil, sir.
You used Tamil language?
Yes, yes.
Did you do anything specific to make it understand your language, or it understood that right out of the box?
No, maybe first day when I spoke about my accent, South Indian accent, it didn't. It tried, but it then slowly trained itself, and now it does it on its own.
Okay, but while selecting the language, you selected your language as Tamil language, right?
Yes, preferably.
And then it started picking up your accent and started accordingly adapting itself to your accent.
Yes, the part of South India from where I am from, we have a typical accent while talking in Tamil also. So it picks the accent very beautifully, and now it does the job.
Amazing. Thanks, madam. This is what we wanted to know. Natural language processing is possible, and in India, it is possible in different languages. Thanks, madam, for participating. Thank you once again. All right. Now, natural language processing is the method by which you make a computer system or the machine to understand your local languages. Now, here is something different for you. There is something called as expert system. Expert system. Please put it in your book. There is something called as expert system. Now, what is expert system? What is expert system? I'm not sure whether everyone is aware of what is expert system. But while you're dealing with artificial intelligence, when you're dealing with artificial intelligence and machine learning, you must know what is expert system. So what is expert system? Look at this slide here and you'll understand. Okay, I'll give you a minute to look at the screen. Please look at the screen. Focus your entire attention on the slide here. Focus this entire attention on the slide here. Right? And as usual, I'm going to ask you questions. By looking at the slide, can you tell me what is an expert system? Factories, I work with several factories, they use expert system. IT companies use expert systems. Many colleges use expert systems. Many companies and corporates use expert systems. What is expert system? I can show you one more diagram to make it simple for you. I can show you one more diagram. Look at this diagram onto the screen. Look at this diagram onto the screen. I think this is quite easy to understand. Colleges use expert system. Schools use expert system, right? Companies use expert system. Government use expert system. Aparitosh has raised hand. Aparitosh. Can I please connect to Aparitosh? Mr. Aparitosh. Mr. Aparitosh, can you please come up online?
Yes, sir. Hello.
Is it Mr. Aparitosh?
Yes. Myself, Aparitosh.
Welcome to this forum, sir. Welcome to this forum.
My point was like expert system wherein we are putting some knowledge from the domain expert.
Okay.
Is it
okay?
Is it true?
You're on the right track, sir. You're absolutely on the right track. Can you please elaborate a bit further so that everybody gets it very clearly? You're on the right track, sir.
Okay, so some banking system is getting developed. So there would be an expert from the banking domain who will train the system for the banking transaction. So that is what I mean, an expert system.
Okay, sir, you have given an absolutely excellent answer, sir. It is up to the point, and it's to the point. So thanks for coming to this forum and giving us this answer. Thank you, sir. Thank you. I just saw somebody raising a hand. Can the organizer here? It's Madam Purnima. Madam Purnima, can you please come up online if it is possible? Madam Purnima.
Yes. Yes, sir. Good afternoon, sir.
Madam. Very good afternoon, madam.
Expert.
Welcome back.
expert system is a system that has the knowledge in a particular domain and is able to answer the questions related to that domain asked by the user through the user interface.
Okay, okay. And what is the use of having an expert system in a company, in a college, in a school, in an organization, in a government?
That may give you the knowledge about the domain, extra knowledge about the domain, or it may you can say one way guide you.
Right, right. So, madam, thanks a lot for coming up online,
Thank you,
and
sir.
thanks a lot for giving this answer. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Now, all of you, if you look at the screen, on the extreme left is the non-expert user. A non-expert user is a person who doesn't know something about the domain, right? Whatever may be the domain, it may be petroleum, it may be tire industry, a chemical industry, or whatever, right? So on the extreme left is someone who is a non-expert. A non-expert doesn't know anything about the domain. On the extreme right, you can see the photograph. That is an expert. Like that person has spent several years in that domain. That person has spent several years in that domain. So why to waste the knowledge of that person? Why to waste the knowledge of that person who's an excellent in that domain? So what we do is we create a system. We create a system, and using that system, it can be a complete ecosystem, right? It can be an ecosystem. We create a system where the expert can connect to the non-expert. The expert can connect to the non-expert. One more time, please put it in your book. One more time, please put it in your book, where the expert can connect to the non-expert. So in an expert system, we create a link. We create a link where the expert connects to the non-expert. And that's why the non-expert, even though he doesn't know anything about the domain, quickly gets it. Even though he doesn't know anything about the domain, quickly gets it. Now, the advantages are plenty, right? So if you have lots of people in the organization who do not know about the domain, let's say I'm just giving an idea. Let's say I'm a consultant to several companies. One company comes to me and says, we want a domain expert in, let's say, big data. We want a domain expert in big data. We want a training in big data. So we organize experts in big data. Of course, I also give several lectures on big data. And this group of experts, they transfer their knowledge. They transfer their knowledge to the non-experts. But if you can create a system, if you can create an ecosystem where this can happen automatically, you have created an expert system. You have created an ecosystem, expert system. Now, I'm just about to look at the chat here because some chats here are very relative to what we are speaking. Just give me a second. All right. Okay. Right. I'm just looking at some answers that people have given me. So I guess expert system, the concept of expert system is absolutely clear with all of you. One last thing I would like to say about expert system. Something about expert system. Please understand the point which I'm trying to explain. You know, people, those who are working in companies, right, or factories, or governments, or schools and colleges, after spending 20 years, after spending 25 years, they retire from the college, they retire from the school, they retire from the factory, they retire from the government body or that agency or department or whatever, right? But after retiring, these people actually do not do anything much. They say, enough, I spent 25 years with this organization. I spent 30 years with this organization. And that's all. They may not actively pursue any kind of work after the retirement. As a thought came to my mind, why not connect such people and create an expert system? Now, for example, I'm just giving an example. Imagine there is a very complicated factory. Now, why I'm saying complicated? Because the factory contains machines which are very complicated. And to understand those machines, it'll take a lot of time. So imagine somebody has retired from that factory after spending 30 years in that factory. Now 30 years, everyone, it's not a small time, it's a big gap of time. So after spending 30 years in that factory, that XYZ person has gathered enough knowledge about those complex machines. So why can't we create an expert system, a sort of an ecosystem, where people who have retired from the companies, people who have retired from the organizations, they are linked together to people who have joined the company new.
or people who require help in the company, or schools, or colleges, or whatever the organization might be. So those people who are retired, they are actually having a wealth of information. It's a wealth of information. So why can't we create a system which joins these people together? And this is a perfect example of an expert system. But of course, everything we can do it electronically using softwares and using hardware. Give me a second. I'm just seeing some chats appearing on screen. And there are 6 chats which are appearing on screen. Let me quickly see what these chats are about. Excellent. Excellent. Can I have, I'm seeing one very good answer here, Mr. Deepak Sathe. Can I have Mr. Deepak Sathe online? Mr. Deepak Sathe. Organizer, are we connecting to Mr. Deepak Sathe?
Yes, sir.
Hello, good afternoon. Good afternoon,
very
sir.
Good afternoon,
Deepak
Mr.
Sathe.
Very good afternoon, Mr. Deepak. You have put up a valid point in your group chat. Can you please tell everyone what you mean by this?
Yeah, I have put in general a troubleshooting manuals, or maybe sometimes when we are not knowing what to do, if a machine is faulty or anything, so we look forward for any expert. So it is difficult to find expert at the moment. So we develop a expert system where you can troubleshoot using by questioning, and it will ask you certain questions, and then based on that it will give you certain answers, and based on that answers you can troubleshoot, and fault finding can be done very easily.
Sort of a customer care.
Yeah. In general, also, suppose our TV blacks out, and then we don't know what to do. So in general, also in the manual, they are printing the general troubleshooting steps. Like you have to check this, you have to check this, like that. So that means you are questioning and you are getting the answers from that point, and then it is easy for us to fault find that troubleshoot the fault.
Mr. Deepak, can you kindly tell me, sir, you are from which college?
So I have done engineering, and actually.
Okay, great. Because your answers were very focused and very oriented towards the industry side. So I could make it out from your talk. So thanks a lot, sir. Thanks for coming online, and thanks for answering this query. Thank you. That was expert system. Now please take down in your book something called as neural network. Now, neural network is a big topic. Neural network is a big topic. It's a huge topic. It's a very complicated topic. And it is so complicated that I cannot teach this entire concept of neural network to you in one single shot. So what we're going to do, I'm just going to touch the topic of neural network, and then I'm going to go ahead. Because the whole concept of neural network is too wide, it is too vast, and it involves a lot of things like deep learning and so on. So what essentially is neural network or neural algorithms? If you can have a look at the screen, you'll come to know what I'm trying to indicate. Okay, so what is neural network? Neural networks are algorithms that are modeled after the human brain that are designed to recognize patterns. I've told this to you yesterday, right? Yesterday in machine learning, I've said to you that in machine learning, many things depend upon the pattern. You know, you try to get the data, and from the data, you try to get the pattern. Like if I want to know when is it going to rain in Mumbai, right? I can collect 100 years data. Now, after collecting 100 years data, I can check the pattern, what pattern it is. And based upon that pattern, I can create a sort of a prediction. Like, okay, it's going to rain in the second week of June or in the first week of July, and so on. And we had seen plenty of examples yesterday based upon patterns. So neural networks are a set of algorithms, a set of formulas, right? Algorithms or formulas, which are based upon the way our human brains work. It's complex. And it is very difficult for me to tell you in one single slide or in half a day or maybe in 1 hour what is neural network. So upon this topic, I'm not going to say much about this, but I'm quickly going to jump to another interesting topic here. Please take down artificial intelligence in defense. Artificial intelligence in defense. I'm going to show you the practical application of artificial intelligence and machine learning in the defense, right? Several countries in several parts of the globe are busy experimenting with artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence is being used by army, by Navy and by Air Force of many countries. And how do they use it? How do they use it? Right? Some things are very open. It's available on Google. And some things are not so open on Google. And some things are undergoing research work. But I'm going to show you some main points about where artificial intelligence are used in the defense sector. Right? Now, let's go to the first slide and see what is it all about. We can use machine learning. We can use artificial intelligence and machine learning, and we can embed that into weapons and other systems used on land, naval base or naval platforms, airborne and space platforms. The idea is we can use artificial intelligence and machine learning in all kind of devices and weapons and other stuff which we use in any kind of operations for Army, Navy, or Air Force. Now, how do we do that? How do we do that? I'm going to give you some rock solid examples. Now, look at those examples and try to think what further improvement we can do with that. I'm going to give you real life examples, the kind of things that people are actively doing across the globe, right? So watch the very first example and you'll come to know what I'm trying to indicate here. Now, if you look at this slide here, the first slide here, give me a second. Okay. Now, this is a bipedal humanoid robot, right? This is a bipedal humanoid robot. Now, it's called as a bipedal. It's called as a bipedal because if you look at the robot, it actually walks like a human being, right? If you look at the robot, it walks like a human being. It doesn't have wheels as a leg. The legs are not wheels which rotate. The legs are real legs like a human being, and it can walk like a human being. It can walk like a human being. And that is why it is called as a bipedal, right? Plus, it's a robot. Plus, it's a robot. This robot is about 6 to 7 feet tall. It's about 6 to 7 feet tall, and it's quite heavy. It contains a lot of mechanical arrangements inside, gears, sensors, microcontrollers, wheels, cameras, a lot of things are inside. Plenty of electronics is packed into this robot, fine? And this robot, bipedal humanoid robot, it is used, it can be used rather in doing search and rescue operations and to assist soldiers. Now let me give an example to you. Suppose in war, during war, one of our soldiers is injured. So we can send a robot, we can send this kind of robots. They can go to our soldier and they can put the soldier, the injured soldier on the shoulder and bring the soldier back to our base, right? So it is possible that we can use this kind of robots for search and rescue operation. We can program these robots. We can program these robots to identify people whom we want to rescue, We can say, okay, rescue X, rescue Y, rescue Z. So the robot is going to understand our commands. And after understanding our commands, it's going to go to that location and rescue those people and come back to us. Like if you're going to send someone else out there, like a human being, for example, there is a danger of some bullet or any kind of injury. But in case of a robot, it's a machine. So such machines are available in different countries, and they are using it for active search and rescue operations to assist soldiers in any kind of war. And this entire robot is having a lot of softwares, which I cannot reveal right now to you. These softwares are using artificial intelligence and machine learning heavily. They're using it very heavily. Now, my question to all of you, those who are listening to me, can someone tell me where is artificial intelligence and machine learning used in this scenario, in this robot? Where is it being used? For what purpose is it being used? Where and for what purpose are we using artificial intelligence and machine learning in this kind of a robot? Remember, this robot has been specifically designed for search and rescue operations. If you give it a command to rescue someone, it's going to rescue that someone. It's going to pick up that someone, place it on the shoulder and bring them back to you. Now, my query to you is, where is artificial intelligence and machine learning, the whole idea, used in this kind of a robot? Where is it being used? Yeah. Can anyone tell this to me? Yeah. Any chance? Anybody? Where do we use? Where, in the sense, I'm not asking you which circuit.
Madam Purnima has raised her hands. Madam Purnima, can you please come up online and tell me what is it? Madam Purnima. Yeah. Organizer, are we connected to Madam Purnima?
Yes, sir. Good afternoon,
Yes,
sir.
very good.
Yeah. You said we are giving yeah, we are telling the robot that pick someone or bring someone. So here, in order to understand what command we are giving, we are using the artificial intelligence. At the same time, the robot, it is a humanoid robot, and is having the legs like structure, so it's able to walk from one
Right.
point to another point. So over there, in order to put the step ahead, it has to calculate the things, and accordingly it will place the foot ahead or back or in any direction, in the direction it wanted to move. So there we are using the concept of artificial intelligence. Is it okay,
Excellent.
sir?
Madam,
Thank you, sir.
you have done excellently well. You have done excellently well, madam. Thanks a lot for your answer. Thanks a lot for your answer.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thanks a lot. I've got someone else in the chat. Just give me a second's time. There is someone in the chat actively trying to answer something. Just give me a second. Okay, we have plenty of answers here. We have plenty of answers. Well. All right. Can I have Madam Sangeeta Menon online? Madam Sangeeta Menon, can you please come up online? I've seen your answer, and I think you have even answered very well. Madam Sangeeta Menon, can you please come up online?
Hello, sir.
Is it Madam Sangeeta?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Hello, sir.
Hello, madam. Hello, madam. You have written something very good in your group chat. Can you please tell me what it is?
Sir, actually, the robot which I saw was similar to a CMO, that is Advanced Step Innovative Mobility robot created by Honda in 2000. Okay, it was just for a museum display, but when we have this kind of robot which are passive walkers, they have actuators and sensors which can find out based on the odometry what is the path. Okay, so if you give them GPS and GINNS, okay, so they can find out their own map using probabilistic detection, and they can survey the entire minefield to find out where the mines were blasted. Okay, so that the soldiers get injured, and once they map it, they will be able to detect the number of soldiers fully injured, partially injured, based on image detection. And the pattern, in case if you have fed with the list of, means okay, this is the XYZ location, so this is the number of soldiers who are sent out there, track them using SLAM and find out what is the probability that how many are dead and how many are alive. If how many are alive, pick them up and bring them for safety measures. So they can do accurate training out there using many algorithms which we have in robotics, that is SLAM, probabilistic mapping, grid mapping, etc.
Madam, before I continue any further, I'm just going to give 2 chocolates to you for this afternoon. So these two chocolates, please accept them virtually.
Thank you.
You have given an excellent answer, madam. And it's my personal request. Please get in touch with me after the workshop is over. I would really like to talk to you further about what ideas do you have in your mind. We can do things together. Thanks a lot, madam. Thanks for coming online. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, sir.
Okay, now here we have a bipedal humanoid robot. This can actually work in battlefield. It can identify dead soldiers. It can identify wounded soldiers. It can bring them back, and it walks like a human being. And that's very important. Now, if you look at the second application, which I'm going to show you here in defense, this is one of my personal favorite. I want all of you to fix your attention onto the screen, right? So everybody's attention onto the screen. This is called as an exoskeleton armor. Now, what is an exoskeleton armor? I'm really excited to speak to you about this because this is one of my favorites. What is exoskeleton armor is this. Now, in this photograph, if you have a look, right, the person in this photograph is trying to lift something very heavy. He's trying to lift something which is very heavy. Now, he cannot lift it, obviously, because it's too heavy. He cannot lift it. But please see behind, he has got something attached to his body.
You can see a blue colored structure. You can see a blue colored structure attached to his body. So that blue colored structure attached to his body, that is called as an exoskeleton. That is called as an exoskeleton. Let me repeat to you one more time. The structure that he has attached to his back and to his body, that structure is called as exoskeleton, right? Now this exoskeleton is actually a machine. It's made up of so many electronic stuff, mechanical and so on, right? There are computers fitted inside. And you can see there are two mechanical arms. There are two mechanical arms. So these two mechanical arms support, it enhances this person so that he can lift heavy weights like this quite easily. Look at this photograph and you can appreciate what I'm saying. Imagine in a war situation, the soldiers needs to carry heavy guns. They have to carry heavy guns, or they need to lift heavy luggages, heavy boxes. No, normally they cannot lift heavy luggages and boxes in a war situation. Now, using exoskeleton armor, they can wear this on their back like a uniform. And you can look at the photograph, they can lift heavy things quite easily. Now, this is one fantastic application. Now, there are instances where the soldier's weight may be, let's say, 70 kgs. The soldier may be weighing 70 kgs, but he's able to lift things which are 200 kgs, 300 kgs, 3 times, 4 times the weight of that soldier. Why? It is entirely possible because of exoskeleton armor. So exoskeleton armor are those machine-like things which you can see, which is wearing. You have to wear it like a dress. It has got mechanical arms, right? And it supports your body. It enhances your body. And then you can lift things which are maybe 5 times or 3 times your weight. And these are called as exoskeleton armor. And if you go to YouTube and watch videos, you can see there are plenty of videos on exoskeleton armor. Everybody's experimenting with exoskeleton armor. Even my company, India Tech, I'm experimenting with exoskeleton armor. It's an amazing concept, right? Now the question comes to you once again, all of you. Please be observant. The question once more to you is, where is artificial intelligence and machine learning used in this scenario? In this scenario, where you have exoskeleton armor, where is artificial intelligence being used? Where and how do we use artificial intelligence? You see, the idea is we have to lift heavy objects. So how can you lift heavy objects using this gadget, this structure, which is called as exoskeleton armor? But in that, where is artificial intelligence being used? All right, I've got some chats coming up here. So quickly, I will look at the chats. What do they convey? Okay. I still require to know some more. The answers are not fully correct. Can somebody give me the answer? Where do we use artificial intelligence here in this scenario? Where do we use artificial intelligence in this scenario? Can anyone tell this to me? This is called as exoskeleton armor. It is used to lift weights which you cannot normally lift. Yes, is that someone who can tell this to me? Yes, anybody? All right. Okay, we have an answer coming up here. Give me a second's time. Okay. All right. I guess we have an answer here. We got an answer here. Let me check who put up this question. Madam Maria, please can you come up online? Organizer, please connect to Madam Maria.
Yes, sir.
Yes, madam. Can you please elaborate what you just told me right now? It's on the chat.
Sir, I just mentioned the payload of the robotic arm because as for the figure, I can see the arm is able to lift those heavy loads. So when a robot is designed, applying intelligently, like how much payload it can take, like 200 kgs, 1 kg, 10 kg, that tons of kg, that can be applied instantly, and based on that, the end effector of that robotic arm can do that job. But I'm still in that same exoskeleton thing, how fascinating it will be or how true it works. I'm still going through that. So I just thought of this word and I remembered that it could be this.
Okay, actually, madam, the whole concept of exoskeleton armor is really exciting. And from my personal side, I'm doing small researches on this exoskeleton armor. So in the future, if you need to get connected, you can get in touch with us. So madam, thanks a lot for coming up online and thanks for giving this answer to us. Thank you once again. Okay, well, look at this example. That was exoskeleton. Just look at this example which I'm showing to you. Target recognition. Please take down in your book, target recognition. artificial intelligence is used in a very big way in the defense for target recognition. Now, what is target recognition? Target recognition is very simple. Whenever we want to hit a target, right? Whenever we want to hit a target, our aim is to hit the target and not anything close by. The aim is to hit a target and not anything close by, right? Let's say we want to destroy a particular house. Let's say the army wants to destroy, the air force wants to destroy, the navy wants to destroy a particular house or a particular ship or whatever it is, the target is. We don't want to create any casualties around that particular target. We don't want people dead around that target. So what we can do is, we can use artificial intelligence to do target recognition. Now, artificial intelligence and machine learning is already being used in several countries in the research for performing accurate and automatic firing using data as a guidance system. The best example that I can give you is of a missile. The best example I can give you is of a missile. When missiles are fired, the missiles are programmed to hit a target. The missiles are programmed to hit a target, and they will hit only that target to which they have been programmed. They do not hit anything close by. I mean, that's what they are supposed to do. They are supposed to hit only the target. And when missile is launched from a particular place and told to go to a particular place, it goes from place A to place B. It doesn't go to C, it doesn't go to D, it doesn't go to E. It is all properly done. It's all properly done using artificial intelligence. Now let me give an example. Look at this photograph here. Look at this photograph. We can use artificial intelligence and machine learning to recognize objects very easily. For example, in this photograph, we are using something called as computer vision. Please take down that word in your book. Please put down in your book, computer vision. Computer vision is a very big field. It's an upcoming field. And a lot of work is being done in computer vision. At a personal level also, I'm doing a lot of things with computer vision. Like, look at this example. Look at this example. We can use artificial intelligence and we can use machine learning to identify what is what in this particular photograph. Like, it can accurately say that is a car, or this is a bicycle, all right, or that is a truck, or this is a traffic light, and or that is a person. So artificial intelligence can recognize in a photograph or in a real scene what objects are located and where they are located. What objects are located and where they are located. Now I'm going to ask you a question. There is a chat coming up on my screen. Just give me a second. I'll really appreciate if you send chats to me so that I can have a look at it. Fine. I've got some examples coming up here. Everyone, look at what I'm going to ask you now. Do we use artificial intelligence in the camera of our mobile phone? Yes or no? If your answer is yes, please tell me how it is yes. Do we use artificial intelligence to a small extent, not maybe to a large extent, right? When I'm taking photographs with my camera, on my mobile phone, right? Do we use artificial intelligence? And if yes, then can you tell me where and how do we use it? When we are using, I'm looking at the chat right now and I'm just looking at what chats are coming up. Yes, we got an answer. Yes. All right. May I? Okay. Can I have Mr. Rishikesh online once again? Mr. Rishikesh, can you please come up online? Yes, Mr. Rishikesh?
Yes, hi, sir.
Yeah, hello. Can you please tell me what is it? In a camera, in a mobile camera, do we have artificial intelligence?
Yes, sir, because recently I have seen such features in mobile cameras wherein your photos has been getting click only when you're smiling or you're blushing or something. Yes, there is some kind of intelligence are inbuilt in your logic, your camera logic. Also face detection, like it is detecting proper faces, like unless everyone is not posing perfectly to the camera, so it will not click your pictures.
Okay. All right. So we have something which in the mobile phone camera which detects the face and it draws a block, it draws a sort of a rectangle around the face when it starts recognizing people. So Mr. Rishikesh, excellent answer. Thanks for your answer.
Thank you, sir.
Organizers, can I have Yasira Anware online? Yasira Anware online. Can I have Yasira Anware online? If I'm not pronouncing the name properly, please let me know. Can I have Yasira?
Yes, sir. Hello.
Hello, madam. You have written something in the Google chat. Can you please tell me what it is?
Sir, I have written that using. Hello.
Yeah, please, madam. Go on. Go on.
Yes, sir. I also agree that AI is used in camera because with the help of that AI, the cameras can automatically differentiate between the subjects which are there in the foreground or in the background.
Okay. Also, they can distinguish. They can distinguish, you mean to say, right?
Yes. They can detect the subject, basically, maybe a landscape or kind of firework or which kind of mode we have, whether night mode, facial features, even enhancing the lights, so everything like that.
Okay. Madam, that was another excellent answer from your side, Madam Yasira. Thanks a lot for this answer of yours. There is one more question. Please keep sending your chats and please keep asking queries. My next question to you is, if you are using Amazon app, right? If you are going to use Amazon app, while using Amazon app, right? Is there artificial intelligence somewhere in that app, in the screen which I'm showing it to you? Of course, Amazon is using artificial intelligence in a big way. It's using it in a big way. I'm going to show you the Amazon app right now on screen. I'm just going to show you a small part of my screen. So everybody, look at the screen. I'm going to show in front of the camera as of now. Just hold on for a second. Now, this is one part of Amazon app. This is one small part of Amazon app, right? Now here, I search for products. All right, I'm just going to click here and I'm going to search, let's say, USB camera for PC. I've typed here USB camera for PC. I want USB camera for PC, right? Now I'm searching for something. I'm not asking for product recommendations. I'm searching for something on Amazon. Now on this search screen, there is something which uses artificial intelligence. Can you please tell me what is it? This is the Amazon app I'm using right now. And this white bar which you're seeing, the whitish bar which you're seeing, that is where I'm going to type my search. Now, when I type my search, right, it's going to search the product category and get me what I want. I'm not talking about that. That is definitely using artificial intelligence. There is something else there in Amazon, in that search bar of Amazon, which is using artificial intelligence. Let me hope I show this to you properly. Can you see this? Can you see this small indication of a camera? This is my search bar. This is my camera, right? Now, this is the search bar. I've typed my search parameter here that I want a USB camera for PC. And at the end, there is a small camera icon. I'm bringing it very close. There is a small camera icon. Now my question to you is, in Amazon app, in the search bar, when you type something to search, there is a small camera. What is that camera icon supposed to do? There is artificial intelligence and machine learning there. What is it supposed to do? Can anyone tell this to me? Yes. All right. Okay, we got some answer here. Can I talk to Madam Sunita Singh? Can I talk to Madam Sunita Singh? Madam Sunita Singh, can I speak to you, please? Organizer, are we connected to Madam Sunita Singh?
Fine, sir. Not reaching.
Okay. We have Madam Rachel. If I can connect to them. Hello. Well, I guess Madam is not online. Can I connect to Madam Mugdha Devdar? Can I connect to Mugdha Devdar? Madam Mugdha Devdar, can I speak to you, please?
Fine, sir.
Yeah, organizers, are we connected to Mugdha Devdar?
She's online.
Yeah, madam, are you online?
Yes.
Yeah, madam, you have written something in your chat. Can you please tell me, in that Amazon app, whenever you search for some product, there is a small camera symbol at the end. What is that camera symbol supposed to do?
Sir, it is used to scan the barcode of product. Search.
Okay. Not fully barcode.
Hello?
It's not exactly barcode. There is something more to that. There is something more to that. Not necessarily it has to be a barcode. It is something different. Can you tell me what is it?
Scan shop for toys or scan the products, etc.
Yes, actually, you can click on the camera symbol, and instead of typing the name of the product, you can click on the photo of the product. For example, I'm just giving an example. For example, if I want to search for a remote control, I want to search for a remote control, right? This is the remote control of my television. Now, to search for a remote control, I can type remote control, REMOT, remote control on the Amazon search bar. Or what I can do is, I can take the Amazon search bar, click on the camera icon, immediately the camera becomes on in my mobile phone, and I can take a photograph of this particular, remote and click. The moment I click, Amazon takes this photo and performs an image searching. It starts searching the image, and based upon this image, this is an image of a camera. It starts searching for cameras automatically. Remote control, I'm sorry. It searches for a remote control. So instead of typing remote control, I can click a photograph of this remote control, and I can make Amazon search for this photograph. So all the product results are going to be of this remote control only, right? Can I have Madam Harman Preet online? Thanks, Madam. Thanks for your answer. I just saw a hand raising up. Can I have the name, please, once again, organizer? Was it Harman Preet? I missed it. I missed it. Well, just give me a second. Can I have Madam Yasira online? Yasira? Yeah,
Yes,
organizer.
sir.
Yeah, Madam,
Yes,
you
sir.
have written something. Can you please tell me what it is quickly?
Sir,
Quick,
actually, I've read somewhere that suppose if I want to buy a cloth, what I can do is with the help of that camera, I can take a picture and I can see whether that the Amazon will give me that particular cloth or whatever camera, whatever image I give. Also, suppose if I want to buy anything for my home, for example, suppose if I want to buy a chair, whether that chair will be fitted in my particular room or in my home, I can have that particular thing also with the help of that camera. Matlab we can before buying or selecting the product, we can come to know whether it will look good or not.
Right, absolutely. Madam, you have absolutely hit the bull's eye. That is an excellent usage. Of that camera, right? The small feature of camera on the search bar. So thanks, madam. Thanks for coming online. Organizers, can I have Madam Shailaja Rane online? Madam Shailaja Rane, can you please have you online? Madam Shailaja Rane, can we have her online? Yeah, madam, are you online?
Good evening, everyone. Yes,
Good
sir.
evening, madam. Good evening, madam.
Yeah,
you have
actually,
written something exciting. Yeah.
Yeah, artificial intelligence actually is used in many places. In in India, it has not yet come in a full way where you can actually wear the dress and see yourself whether it fits you properly or not before buying it.
Right.
Buying it. And that camera actually, I think, as far as I know, is it will tell you what are the products which matches your product which they have, and they recommend also. Suppose if they don't have a nearby product, then recommend which is very similar to the product which you want.
Right. For example, if you are doing window shopping, you're in a mall and you're looking at the window shopping, you find a dress outside, you can take your camera, go to Amazon, click on that button where the symbol of the camera is given, and click a photograph of that dress. And instantly, Amazon is going to scan its database and tell you if that dress is available, and if yes, and at what rate it is available. Isn't it? Is that what you're trying to convey? Yeah.
Yes.
Madam, thank you for coming up online, and thanks for this answer, madam. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, sir. Bye-bye.
Right. Now, if you see here, there is another great application of artificial intelligence, which is battlefield healthcare. Now, I think this is something which all of us should focus on in a big way. Now, what is battlefield healthcare is,
those soldiers who are in the battlefield, right? Those soldiers on the battlefield, we can do something for taking care of their health using artificial intelligence and machine learning. Now, how can we do that? What we can do is, right, there are uniforms created, right? There are uniforms created with sensors connected to the uniform. There are uniforms created with sensors connected to the uniform. And these sensors can record the blood pressure, it can record the sugar level, it can record the heartbeat, and a lot of other parameters of that particular soldier, and upload that to a cloud, right? And as that soldier is busy, fighting in the battlefield, the sensors which are fitted in his clothes, those sensors are actually checking the health of the soldier. They're checking the health of the soldier. And then it is going to convey, supposing, I'm just giving an example. Suppose some XYZ soldier, his blood sugar level falls down. And he's about to faint. The sensors in the body, right? In the entire body is fitted with sensors in that particular cloth, in that uniform. So the sensors in the uniform is going to send a signal to the cloud that goes to a system of artificial intelligence later setup, and that gives a signal that this guy is going to fall down anytime because of XYZ related issues. So immediately people can be dispatched, the healthcare personnel can be dispatched, and the soldier can be picked up from his place. The records, the medical records of the soldiers can be made online, so that if at all there is any problem, it can be compared and the soldiers can be rescued all the time. Now, I'm going to show you something interesting. I want all of you to look at the screen for a minute right now. Please look at the screen. In my hand, I've got something. Here in my hand, which I'm going to reveal to you. Fine. Now, watch carefully. This thing in my hand, it is kept covered. I have purposely kept it covered. I'm going to unveil this to you. Fine. We can use this to sense something. This is a sensor. And I can attach this sensor to a cloth, to a uniform, and it can monitor some aspect of my body. I can integrate this in my uniform. I can integrate this with my cloth, with the shirt that I'm wearing, and this can monitor something. I'm going to remove this from the cover and show this to you. All right. Can you please tell me, what is this sensor? There are 3 terminals here. There are 3 pins here. Right? And I'm going to bring the sensor a bit closer to the camera here so that you can have a look. What is this sensor? It's a very small sensor. I can connect this sensor to my body. I can stitch it to a cloth, right? And when I wear that t-shirt or a shirt or whatever dress, this sensor is going to connect to my body. It is a very small sensor, and there are 3 terminals to that sensor. What is this sensor all about? There is a chat coming up. Let me look at the chat and see what it is about. Okay. There is a chat which says this is a thermal sensor. It is not a thermal sensor. Sorry to disappoint you. This is not a thermal sensor. Can Yasira madam come up online? Yasira madam. Madam Yasira? Is she online? Organizer?
Yes, sir.
Madam, you have written something, and that is, I guess, the correct answer. What is it? Can you please elaborate?
So it is a plug and play sensor which is specifically designed so that we can have heart rate. We can get the heart rate data. Heart rate sensor.
Small
Very
sensor.
simply, I can say it is a heart rate sensor which can be used with Arduino specifically, or any other.
Madam, you have done an excellent job with this answer, madam. Thanks a lot for this.
Thank you, sir.
This is a, please stay online, madam. Please stay online. This is a heartbeat sensor. It's a pulse sensor, right? If I connect this to Arduino or any kind of boards, and I can touch this sensor, and it can check my pulse reading. It can check my heartbeat reading. And this sensor, if you wear it, if you connect it to any kind of cloth, to a t-shirt or a shirt or whatever, it can actually measure your heartbeat. And if I connect it to Wi-Fi, I can send the heartbeat readings over the internet to my doctor.
Real time. Yes, sir.
In real time. And the cost of this sensor, madam, any ideas? What is the cost of this sensor?
What, sir?
Cost. What is the price, the cost of the sensor?
No, sir, actually, I have no idea about the cost because one of our students have designed in the project. So I don't have any idea with that.
Which college, madam, you are from?
Probably, sir, but it was very cheap, I suppose, but I have no exact idea.
Madam, which college? Which college you are from?
Maharashtra College of Arts, Science and Commerce, Mumbai Central. I teach IoT, and I have written also.
Excellent, madam. Excellent. This sensor is costing. This sensor is costing 150 rupees. 150.
Yeah,
that's all. It's a very, very cost-effective sensor. 150. And madam, we are doing a lot of things in IoT. We are personally doing plenty of projects in IoT. So later on, we can connect together for doing some exciting projects.
Yeah, sir, definitely. Thank you so much. So your session was very, very informative.
Thanks a lot, madam.
I enjoyed it. Yeah.
Thanks a lot, madam. Thank you. Thank you. Well, we have this battlefield healthcare here. In the next slide, if you see, there is something interesting. Transportation. Now, there are many companies which are making their vehicles smart. We can make the vehicle smart. Now, how do we make the vehicle smart? I'm talking about battlefield scenario. I'm talking about battlefield scenario. If you look at the screen, there is one single line written here, which says, we can use artificial intelligence. We can use machine learning to detect component failures of vehicles in time and save the troops' life. Let me give an example. Imagine a group of soldiers are in their vehicle, in their truck, and they're about to cross the enemy territory, right? They're going to go to the enemy territory and they're going to do some activities on the enemy territory. Now they're about to cross the enemy territory, right? Or maybe they have crossed the enemy territory and suddenly the engine goes down. Suddenly the car or the vehicle, the truck, the automobile, the engine, it goes down. Or maybe they are in a tank, in an army tank. The engine goes down suddenly and they are trapped in the enemy territory. So obviously they'll be taken as prisoners of war, POW, and they'll be picked up by the enemies. Now we can avoid this by using artificial intelligence. Now, how do we avoid this with artificial intelligence? We can use sensors, we can use microcontrollers, we can do a lot of things inside the vehicle so that before the engine fails, it will give an indication. It will give an indication to the troops, to the soldiers, that this engine is going to fail in 5 minutes. This engine is going to fail in 30 minutes. The moment the troops come to know that my engine is going to fail, they will say enough is enough. Enough is enough. We are not going to cross to the enemy territory. So they take a decision. They take an informed decision. They tell to themselves, my engine is going to fail in 30 minutes. If my engine is going to fail in 30 minutes, I'm not going to cross. I'm not going to cross. And I'm not going to go to the enemy side. So they do not go there. And in the process, they save their lives. So it is possible to create a system of artificial intelligence. It is possible to create a method of artificial intelligence in transport vehicles or in any kind of vehicles where we can detect the component failures before they happen. Before they happen. I'm giving an example. All of you watch carefully. Imagine, I'm just giving an example. Imagine you have a car and you want to go to a meeting in the car, right? You want to go to the meeting. So the next day morning you get up, you go to the car and you unlock using remote control the doors of your car. And you casually stare down and you find that the tires of your car have gone flat. The tires have got punctured. The tires have gone flat. Now you're already late for the meeting, right? So you make a decision accordingly. You change the tire, you're already late, you rush and do all that stuff. Now imagine if the tires of your vehicle go flat, and before they go flat, you get a notification on the mobile phone. Your mobile phone gives a notification. There is a beep sound. You get 2 beep sounds and you get a notification. Your car's tire is going to go flat in 20 minutes. Your car's tire is going to go flat in 30 minutes, something like that. So if your car sends signal to you and it's going to tell you that my car tire is going to go flat in 20 minutes, you're already mentally ready. So immediately you call the meeting venue and say, I guess I'll be late by 20 minutes. I need to change my car's tire. So like this, it is possible for car manufacturers to use artificial intelligence and machine learning to detect any kind of failure in the car, whatever it is. And in battlefield, well, this can be a game changer. Our soldiers may not really go any place if they find that their vehicle is about to collapse. I've got some chats here. Just give me a second.
Okay. Can I have Mr. Biplab Biswas online? Can I have Mr. Biplab Biswas online? Mr. Biplab. Organizer, are we connected to him? Mr. Biplab. Organizer, are we connected to him?
Right, sir.
Yep. Mr. Biplab, if you are available, I would like to speak to you. Well, I guess Mr. Biplab is not available. He has written some wonderful query and I would like to talk to him about that. Fine. Well, doesn't matter. Let's go ahead. Look at this slide. We have got something interesting coming up now. Cyber security. That is one domain in which I've been working for the past 16 years. We can use artificial intelligence in cyber security. You know how? We can use cyber security to record the pattern of cyber attacks and we can create a counter attack tools to tackle them, right? Our military systems are vulnerable often to cyber attacks, right? So we can stop this kind of attack. And how do we stop this kind of attack? We can use artificial intelligence and machine learning. And using artificial intelligence and machine learning, we can create a pattern. Like what kind of attack can happen. And based upon that pattern, we can create countermeasures. To stop that attack from happening. So it is possible to use artificial intelligence and machine learning to create a very secure system so that there is no cyber attack on our military and other areas. So that's 100% possible. Now, if you look at the next slide, this is all about combat simulation and training. Now, what is combat simulation and what is training? Please have a look at the screen. This is again a place where artificial intelligence is being used, machine learning is being used in a big way, along with virtual reality and augmented reality. Now, let me come back to you once again, right? Three things. Artificial intelligence, machine learning is one, virtual reality is another, augmented reality is another one. So three aspects I'm talking to you here. Please have a look at this photograph. I want all of you to look at this photograph. Look at this photograph. Now, in this photograph, you can see several soldiers, right? Now, look at the soldier to the bottom left. Look at the soldier to the bottom left. And look what is it doing? Look what is it doing? The soldier onto the bottom left. The soldier onto the bottom left, he's actually coming down in a parachute. He's coming down in a parachute. He thinks it's a parachute. You know why? Look at what he's wearing over his eyes. He's got a virtual reality goggle, an augmented reality goggle. There is a goggle, there is a specs, right? So that virtual reality goggle, which is wearing over his eyes, that gives him an impression that is actually coming down from a parachute. If you look at the straps of the parachute, look at the straps of the parachute. There is no parachute at the top. There is no parachute at the top. They are just suspended from the ceiling. That's all. But he gets a feeling as if he's coming down from the parachute. He's getting a feeling that he's coming down from the parachute, right? This is one use of artificial intelligence with the help of augmented reality and virtual reality. Now look at the top. A soldier is firing a machine gun. A soldier is firing a machine gun. Now that gun is not actually firing real bullets. He's not firing any real bullets. There are no targets. These are virtual reality. These are virtual reality goggles. And using those virtual reality goggles, he's firing bullets. Of course, there are no bullets. Imaginary bullets at an imaginary target. Look to the right side. Look to the right side. You can see there is a person sitting in a chair with his right hand on a joystick. Okay, you can see the photograph. Somebody sitting on the chair with his right hand on a joystick. That somebody has again got a virtual reality, augmented reality. You know, he has got a headset. He has got a goggle. Now, he is actually flying an helicopter. It is surprising. He is actually flying an helicopter. You do not see any helicopter anywhere. There is no helicopter anywhere, right? Because it is not a real helicopter. It is a virtual helicopter. So he's adjusting the joystick. He's taking off. He's landing. He's going to the left. He's going to the right. He's increasing the speed. He's going up in the altitude and so on and so forth. But actually nothing is happening. He's sitting in his own chair because of artificial intelligence, virtual reality, and augmented reality. He thinks he's doing all that. So defense personnel, Army, Navy, Air Force, across the globe, everywhere, they are investing a lot of money in artificial intelligence and machine learning, along with augmented reality and virtual reality in a big way, right? Now, if you look at the screen once more, there is something exciting for you. This is drones. This is all about drones. Now, drones are also called as unmanned aerial vehicle or UAV. Drones are also called as unmanned aerial vehicles or UAV. Now, what are drones used for? All of us know about drones, right? They are small in size. They can be bigger in size also. There are giant drones. And these drones can be used to patrol the border areas. They can track enemy movement. They can search for lost or injured soldiers, and they can increase the safety of the soldiers. Drones are quite common. Drones are quite, in a big way, used everywhere in different parts of the globe. And even for civilian purposes, drones can be used. In India, we have our rules and regulations on how and where drones can be used. For instance, we cannot use drones near airports. We can't use it near airports. There is an obvious danger. Fine. Now, there is a question I want to ask. If you look at these drones, the drones can fly up. They've got cameras. They can record what is happening from the top, right? And if you have seen programs like National Geographic or Discovery Channel on televisions, you can see that drones are used for taking photographs of like forests or of bushfires and of so many things, right? Now my question to you is, where and how is artificial intelligence used in case of drones like this? If you look at drones like this, where is artificial intelligence used here? What is the use of artificial intelligence in drones? I've given some ideas to you in that point. I want some answers. Please raise your hand if you know the answer. Please raise your hand if you know the answer. You can try, madam, you can try, sir. Maybe your answer is right, maybe it is wrong, doesn't matter. At least you can try. Yes. Yasira, madam, can you please come up online? Yasira, madam, can you please come up online? Organizer, yes, please sir. Connect me to Yasira, madam. Yes, madam. Please tell me your views on how to use artificial intelligence for drones.
Sir, if you want to keep the object moving in the correct path, so with the help of that, we can, with the help of AI, we can make our drone smarter.
Right, right. You mean to say the location of the drone, the path of the drone, the trajectory
yes,
of the drone.
So it can, with the help of AI, it can detect maybe if there is any kind of disturbance in the path. So with that, we can make it smarter. Basically, for that only, if you want to make our drone smarter, we can, with the help of AI, we can do that by avoiding whatever objects come in the path of that drone.
So obstacle avoidance is one big thing you meant to say.
Yes, sir.
Madam, have you heard that companies like Domino's Pizzas and companies like Amazon's are now planning to do delivery using drones?
Yes, sir. I have heard. I've read that.
Have you seen any videos of these drones delivering objects?
Sir, no, I have not seen videos.
Now just for your sake, madam, just for your sake and for everyone else listening to me online, drones are being equipped with AI and ML, and these AI and ML techniques are used to identify customers, because you can deliver to the proper customer instead of going to the wrong customer. Amazon is experimenting with this method. Domino's Pizzas are experimenting with this method. Like they want to deliver the pizzas or goods or whatever it is to the correct customer. And for that, they're going to depend heavily upon artificial intelligence and machine learning. So, Madam Yasira, thanks a lot for coming online and giving this answer. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Now, here is one more aspect of battlefield machines, which I want to show you. Now, please have a look here. This is a tank. Now, those of you who do not know what it is, it's a tank used in the battlefield. And at the top of the tank, look at the top, look at the top. You can see there are ammunitions, bombs and ammunitions, right? So this tank is used in battlefield to fire off ammunitions directly at the enemies. It is fully loaded. You can see at the top, it's fully loaded. Normally what happens is, in a battle tank, there is an operator sitting inside. In a battle tank, there is an operator who sits inside and he drives the tank. Now the danger is, if this tank goes into the battlefield and if there is a bomb, if there is a bomb attack on that particular tank, the tank can explode. If there is a bomb attack, the tank can explode. Now, and the person sitting inside, the operator will get killed. So that this should not happen, right? This tank, which you're saying, it is called as a Uran 9 tank. That's a model name, URAN, Uran 9. This tank is remote controlled. It is remote controlled. There is no operator sitting inside. One more time, there is no operator sitting inside. Using the concept of IoT, Internet of Things, using artificial intelligence, using machine learning, this tank is operated from a remote distance, right? Somebody sitting some 5 kilometers away, 20 kilometers away, an operator sitting 20 kilometers away is driving this tank. There's nobody sitting inside. So even if this tank is hit by a bomb and it explodes, no human being gets killed because there is no operator sitting inside. This is a remote control tank. So artificial intelligence and machine learning is used in a very big way in this particular kind of battle tank. Now, this is one more example of an underwater drone. The previous drone which you saw, that drone was supposed to fly in the air, right? It was supposed to fly in the air. This is called as underwater drone. So these are used to check for things inside the sea. Like this is used by different people to film, to take a video shooting of what is inside the sea. And they can be also used to check if there are any bombs or whatever it is below the ocean. So for seas and oceans, we can use this. This is an underwater drone. It is, the company's name is IROV. ROV stands for Remote Operated Vehicle. And they manufacture this kind of drones, and they have a lot of artificial intelligence and machine learning inside. This is interesting. I want all of you to look at the screen. I want all of you to look at the screen. Research is going on to create a gun. Research is going on to create a gun. That's a machine gun. That's a machine gun. Research is going on to create a machine gun which can fire at the target automatically. Which can fire at the target automatically. I want everyone to listen to my statement once again. Research is going on to create a gun which can fire at the target automatically. It can identify the target, it can fire at the target. Just an example, just an example. Suppose you take a gun, this special gun. This special gun is using artificial intelligence and machine learning. And you show the photograph of the target. You show the photograph of the target to the gun. And then the gun memorizes the target's photo. The gun memorizes the target's photo. And then the photo is removed. Now the gun scans the crowd. The gun scans the crowd. And the moment it sees the target, it starts firing at the target automatically. The moment it scans the crowd, it sees the target, it starts firing at the target automatically. Obviously, this system is not fully foolproof. What if two people look exactly the same? What if there are twins, right? So this is not fully foolproof. There are a lot of things which we need to clear it off. But well, this is one technology people are working on. This is one exciting thing about artificial intelligence. Those people who are working in the explosives manufacturing industry, like they're supposed to handle explosives on a daily basis. And one small mistake, the explosive is going to explode and they're going to lose their hand and limb. So that this should not happen, we are using something called as gesture control. In gesture control, you move your hands. You move your hands and the robotic arm is going to copy your movement. So whatever movements you're going to do, the arm is going to copy that movement. You open your fingers, it's going to open its finger. You close your fingers, it's going to close its finger. You grab nothing. You just show as if you're grabbing something, but the arm will actually go and grab something to which you show it to. Now, artificial intelligence is used in a big way in this particular case. I've got a chat coming up, so give me a second time to see what this chat is all about. All right. Here, there is something very interesting. Yeah, I got some feedback here, how it's going to be used for enemy. Give me a second's time. This is the latest innovation from DRDO. DRDO is a defense organization, a research organization in India, and they have created a bomb detection machine. Now, this machine can detect a bomb, right? And it can defuse a bomb. It can detect a bomb and defuse a bomb. It is called as DAKSH, D-A-K-S-H, DAKSH. I cannot tell you much about this. And this is using a lot of artificial intelligence and machine learning stuff within. I'm sorry, I cannot go much into details of this because it's a bit classified. All right, now I need to show you something wonderful. Everybody, please look at the screen. This is called as a hummingbird drone. This is called as a hummingbird drone. It's actually a small drone and it can fly in the air. It can flap the wings, but it's not a bird. It's not a bird. It looks like a small bird. So when it is launched, it flies in the air flapping its wing. So for enemies, they do not understand whether it is a bird, because from that distance you can't make out whether this is a bird or this is a drone. And there are cameras fitted to this drone, and it can record the movement of enemies and troops on the ground. It looks like a bird flapping and flying in the air, but it's not actually a bird, it's a drone. Now, these kind of drones are being manufactured everywhere, and they use artificial intelligence and machine learning again in a very big way. Facial recognition is also one big aspect. We spoke about facial recognition, right? We saw that facial recognition is used in mobile cameras. In fact, if you have a mobile camera, today you can unlock your camera using a pattern, right? If there is a pattern, using pattern, you can unlock your camera. You can use that, the fingerprint sensor on the back, or you can use a face. It will detect your face and open the camera. Now, facial recognition, there is something interesting happening everywhere. Many countries are working on this project. Many countries are working on this project. What they're doing is they're fixing CCTV cameras all around the city. They're fixing CCTV cameras all around the city, and these CCTV cameras are capturing the crowd. It's capturing the crowd, and then they have created a database of facial expressions. It's a new concept. It's a new concept. They are creating a database of facial expressions. Like if somebody is in disgust, somebody is in surprise, somebody is in anger, somebody is neutral, somebody is having a fear. They're trying to recognize their facial expressions. They're going to analyze their facial expressions, and they're going to predict whether they're having any criminal intentions. And what I saw, what I researched and found out, that the New York Police Department is trying to use this kind of system to detect for criminals. So cameras are trained to look at the facial expressions, and based upon the facial expressions, it can pick out whether those people are actually good or criminal people with criminal intentions. I want questions on this. Is there anyone who wants to ask me a question? We are coming to some very interesting part of our talk, so that's why. Are there any interesting questions here? Yeah, anybody? Great. Madam Sangeeta Menon. Can I have Madam Sangeeta Menon online? Is Madam Sangeeta Menon online?
Yes, sir, I am online.
Yes, madam. Please ask me your query.
So is this similar to Detectron, which is used by Facebook to tag people?
This is something similar to that. Mostly you're trying to understand the facial expressions and trying to guess whether these people are involved in any criminal activities. Because psychologically, the expressions of the face is going to change if they're involved in any kind of criminal activity.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Thanks, madam. Thanks for your query. I've got another chat coming up here. This is exciting. We are coming to some very interesting parts of our talk. This is all right. We have just answered that query. So I guess I just go around. I want to show you something interesting. Please take down in your book some advanced topic of machine learning. Please get back to your books and write some advanced topics of machine learning.
Sir.
Yeah. All right.
Hello,
now
sir.
we are coming to some interesting aspects. Here. Please take down in your book some advanced topics of machine learning. I've already told you what is machine learning.
Sir?
Yes.
Sir, Biplab sir wants to talk to you.
Biplab sir, please come up online. I'm all ears. I'm waiting for you.
He's online.
Oh, sir. Good evening, sir.
Very good evening, sir. Very good evening. Please tell me.
Sir, if a robot sent for a war with army,
okay,
then how it will detect the opposite army?
Okay,
or enemy?
sir, there are two answers I can give you here. Answer number one is we are using facial recognition features. The robot is trained to recognize the facial features of the person which it is going to detect. It has been told that these are the people who are friendly, these are the people who are enemies. So facial detection is one. And there are some more algorithms being used to detect if the person is from our camp or from an enemy camp. Most of the things which you are which we are looking at here on screen, related to Army, Navy and Air Force and Defense, they are classified. And not many companies reveal their techniques. But one such technique is to understand the facial features. Like you train the robot on all the soldiers who are in your camp, so that anybody who doesn't resemble those soldiers, they are not from your camp. They've been from some other camp. So this is one algorithm to do that.
It is foolproof.
Not fully, sir. It is not fully foolproof. People are working on that. People are working extensively on that. We have not fully come to that level that we can deploy such robots in the battlefield. A lot of work is still going on. A lot of researchers are still working on this in a big way.
Because yesterday you told that cat and dogs like example.
Right.
Then in army, both sides are human.
Right.
And one enemy can hit enemy, then the chance he exchange their clothes also, and weapon also. Then how it will detect?
That's what I'm saying, sir. There are many algorithms. There are many algorithms which are currently being tested. But at this point of time, I'm not in a position to reveal all the techniques to you because many of those techniques are still under research and they're still classified. So perhaps on a public forum, I will not be able to help you on this. But on a personal front, you can always get back to me because I'm going to give my number at the end of this talk. You can get back to me. I'll help you with this particular query of yours. Sure, sir?
Okay, sir. Actually, my father was a retired army person.
Oh, great. Actually, sir, I'm happy to hear this because I'm actively involved with ordnance factories. I train the Ordnance Factory, Ministry of Defense, and these two people regularly. Even tomorrow, I've got a training with them. So I'm quite happy to hear about this, sir. A very warm welcome to you. Thanks, sir. Thank you. Yeah. Now, I'm just going to show you something about machine learning. And as I said to you, I'm going to skip unnecessary things and come to things which are interesting to you. Okay. Please take down in your book, Machine Learning Programming. Please take up in your book, Machine Learning Programming. All right. Now, I'm going to show you something very interesting here. Machine learning programming. To do machine learning programming, to learn about machine learning programming, I've seen the syllabus of the university. I've seen the syllabus of BSc IT and BSc Computer Science. But I'm not going to show you that. I'm going to show you something different. To do machine learning programming, all of you, I'm going to give an example. So I want everyone to focus onto the screen. Please focus onto the screen carefully. All right. Suppose I want to write a machine learning code which can differentiate between an apple and an orange, right? I want to write a machine learning code. That code, that software should be able to differentiate between an apple and an orange. So I'm going to give an apple to the computer. I'm going to give an orange to the computer. The computer should be able to recognize this is an apple or this is an orange. This is like the hello world. All of us are teachers here, all of us are faculties here. We know that any programming language you learn, you have to start with hello world. So imagine this is like a hello world. This is like a hello world, right? So what I'm trying to do, I'm trying to give an apple and an orange to a computer, and I'm going to make it recognize whether this is an apple or an orange. Now, how does it work? Watch carefully. Method one. In the first method, you count the color. You count the pixels, the color pixels in that particular fruit. All right. So what is the first method? Tell the machine to count the green and orange color pixel in each fruit and predict the output. For example, if it counts how much orange color is there in the fruit, look to the left side. Look to the left side. Bottom left. Look at the bottom left. If it counts how much is the orange color in the picture, obviously the amount of orange color in the apple is going to be less. And the amount of orange color in the orange is going to be more. So based upon that, you can tell, machine can predict more orange color means it's an orange. Less orange color means it's an apple. So that's one method. Second is, you can count both the colors. You can see how much is green color and how much is orange color in both the fruits, right? And you can compare those colors and find out whether the fruit is an apple or it is an orange. This is one method. Now watch what I'm going to show you next. This is not very reliable because based upon the color, you cannot decide whether the fruit is orange or the fruit is apple. There are some apples which are not red in color. They may be green in color. There are green apples also. So based upon the color, you cannot really make a distinction whether this is what kind of fruit. So that is why we have to do something different. And what is it? You have to write code for that. And we have to see what color is the fruit. How is the edge of the fruit? Is it smooth, right? What is the shape? If the shape is totally round, maybe it is orange. Maybe it's not round, it's a different shape. Maybe that's supposed to be an apple. Then we have to check the texture of the skin. If the skin is very smooth, it is an apple. If the skin is not very smooth, it is very rugged, it is supposed to be an orange. So like this, we have to write code. Now, there is something called as classifier. I want everybody to write this in your book. I want everyone to write this in your book. There is something called as classifier. There is something called as classifier. Now, what is a classifier? In machine learning, classifier is a function. It's a function that takes as input whatever data you give and classifies the output as apples or oranges, right? So classifiers are functions which will take as input the data you give. You know, what is the data? The data means, is the color orange? Is the color green? Is the texture smooth? Is the texture bumpy? So whatever input you are giving, a classifier takes those inputs, and based upon those inputs, it is predicting whether the output is this orange or is this apple. So classifiers, you can write in your book, classifiers can predict the output. Classifiers can predict the output. So classifiers take input, they process the input, and they tell you whether the output is an apple or is it an orange. The output is an apple or is it an orange, right? Now, watch carefully here. This is the meaning of a classifier. Look at this diagram. You give apples and oranges to the classifier. Either it can be an apple or it can be an orange to the classifier. The classifier will look into that photograph or into that system and classify that, okay, this is supposed to be an apple or this is supposed to be an orange. Look down below. Classifiers are also used in email systems. Classifiers are also used in email. You know, some emails go to the junk, spam, and some emails come to you normally. If you have Gmail account, if you've got Yahoo account or whatever, some emails are classified as spam email and some emails are classified as normal email. Now, how does that happen? That happens again because of classifiers. That happens because of classifier. The classifier must be trained. Please put it in your book. Please put it in your book. The classifier must be trained to understand whether this is an apple or an orange. The classifier must be trained to make it understand whether the mail is a real mail or a spam mail. The classifier must be trained to understand whether the mail is a real mail or a spam mail. So classifier must be trained. So what I have done is, I have written a small program. We cannot show programs in this forum because for lack of time, because putting a program, loading the compiler takes a lot of time. But I'm going to reveal the program to you. I'm going to reveal the software to you. You all can download and use this. Step 1. Please download something called as Scikit. It is there onto the screen. SCIKIT, Scikit. Scikit Learn. Scikit Learn is a library which we use for artificial intelligence and machine learning. Number 1. Number 2, you require Python programming language. You require Python programming language. I mean, with that you can do the programming, right? You also require something called as Anaconda. You have to download Anaconda. Please take down the name Anaconda. If you have not worked with Anaconda, Anaconda is a fantastic tool. It contains the Python distribution. It contains everything, library, all kind of library inside for writing programs in machine learning. For those who are new to machine learning, I recommend Anaconda to you. If you do not know anything about machine learning, please download Anaconda, and with that you need to start your career with machine learning. I'm not going to get into the details of programming because the session timings are very limited and we need to cover so many things, right? Now, after downloading Anaconda, this is the kind of data we are going to use for our programming. Our program is going to work like this. Watch carefully. I'm not going to get into the programming. I repeat, I'm only going to cover the concepts. I'm not going to get into the programming because the sessions will get elongated. We are going to train our computer like this. We are going to use 3 features: weight, texture, and the output label. It's an example. If the weight is 150 grams, and the texture is bumpy, the skin is bumpy, then that is supposed to be an orange. If the weight is 170 grams, just an example, right? And the texture is bumpy, the skin is bumpy, it is supposed to be an orange. If the weight is 140 grams and the texture is smooth, the skin is smooth, it is an apple. If the weight is 130 grams and the texture is again smooth, again that is supposed to be an apple. So we are comparing two things, the weight and the texture. If the weight is something and the texture is something, the output is something. So the weight and the texture is important, right? And the weight and the texture is important. If you look at the screen, you can understand two things. Number one, oranges are always bumpy. Oranges are always bumpy. Look at the skin of orange, it's always bumpy. Apples are always smooth. Look at the skin of the apple, it's always smooth, right? Look at the weight. If you look at the weight in general, oranges are much more heavier. In this chart, you can see oranges are much more heavier and apples are relatively lesser in weight, So keeping this in mind, right, we are going to have a program. Now, this is the program I have written. It has been written in Python, and this program can predict if you give an input, whether this is going to be an apple or this is going to be an orange. You are going to give only two parameters. You are going to give what is the weight is one parameter and what is the texture, whether it is bumpy or it is smooth. If you tell the weight is 170 grams and if it is bumpy, immediately the program will say this is an orange. If you say the weight is 130 grams and it is smooth, immediately the program says this is supposed to be an apple. Like this, you can experiment with the different values, and this is the program. No need to copy down this program. I will organize with the organizers to send this program to you on your email or on your WhatsApp group. So this program will be sent to you. I'm not going to go to the details of this program and explain this program because that is not what this forum is for. In fact, to learn artificial intelligence and machine learning using programming, it's a very different game altogether, and it's a 1 week course from morning 9 o'clock till evening 5. The workshops are conducted from morning 9 till evening 5, 8 hours per day for 5 days. That's 40 hours of training we give to understand the basics of machine learning using programming languages like Python. So this code that you're looking at is used to identify whether the input is an apple or an orange, depending upon the weight, depending upon the surface, whether it is bumpy or whether it is smooth. Fine. I'm not going to get into the program because, as I said in the beginning, getting into the program is time consuming. And not everybody here are programmers. So the program which you are seeing here, I'm going to give it to you quickly the moment the workshop gets over. Now, I'm going to come to the last part of our talk. The time is 5:15. I'm going to come to the last part of our talk, which is how to use AI ML for healthcare research. Many of these things that I'm going to show here to you are under research. Many are already ready products and they're being used in the market in a big way. They are really exciting. They are really wonderful. I want all of you to focus onto the screen now. And if there are any doubts, you're welcome to ask me, right? My previous idea was to end the session by 5 o'clock, but now I got some time. We can go on ahead with the schedule as per the program, as per the timing. So we can go ahead, not a problem. But I need to finish this part to you. It's very interesting. And there are a lot of things I want to let you know about AI ML. The first one is, all of you, malaria detection with machine learning. It is possible to detect malaria using machine learning. Absolutely possible. We can detect malaria using machine learning. Now, how do you detect malaria using machine learning? Well, all of us know malaria is a deadly disease which is caused by mosquitoes. And the mosquitoes are spreading this disease, right? And when people get malaria, they get high fever and so on and so forth. What generally happens is the diagnosis is like this. Anybody suffering from malaria, they go to a pathology and a pathological clinic. A blood sample is taken. It is smeared on a glass slide. And then using a microscope, you just focus on those parasites which are inside and you create a report, right? You look at the report and you make a report. And from that report, it is diagnosed whether the person is having malaria or not. Now, what's something interesting here? Look at this, How to use machine learning? how to use machine learning to detect for malaria. Look to the left. The left, all the cells which you are seeing is uninfected. Uninfected means there is no malaria infection there. Look to the right side. Those cells are having malarial infections. Those cells are having malarial infections. Now, how do you see it is having infection? They are called as parasitized. Now, how do you see that? Look at the diagram very carefully. The cells which do not have malaria, the cells which do not have malaria, they are clean. But the cells which have got malaria, you can see small dots inside. Okay, can you see all of you? All of you, can you see? Look at the cells which is written parasitized. Where it is written parasitized. So those are cells of malaria where you can see small dots inside. So small dots inside or small contours, it's called as contours. Small dots or contours inside that particular cell means it is infected with malaria. It is infected with malaria. So what can be done is, we can use machine learning. We can use machine learning and detect whether a person is suffering from malaria or not, depending upon the cell structure. Our program can check whether the cell structure is clear or whether the cell structure contains any spots inside. If there are spots, if there are contours, if there are spots or contours, immediately the program will be predicting that this person is suffering from malaria. And to do this, we require plenty of libraries like Pandas or Scikit and OpenCV. Then we need to download the data sets. We need to download the images. And from those images, we need to have a proper structure. Like there are steps, step 0, step 1, step 2, step 3. Lot of steps are there. And then finally, we have to create the program which will do this for us. Now you can see the program on screen. This is the program for checking whether the cells are infected with malaria. It is written in Python, right? And this is the code to detect whether the infections are big, small, or medium. I'm not getting into the programming much because this is not the forum for that. And this is again the code written in a better format for you to see, right? And this code can predict whether the person is suffering from malaria. So it is possible. It is 100% possible for us to do prediction of malaria using the cells or the cell structure. Now this code and this photograph I can give you online. I mean, I cannot give you right away, but after the workshop is over, I can share this with only this code, right? This code and the structure, I will share this with the organizers. Please get in touch with the organizers. I'll give this code to them and they can take it from them. Now this is about the malaria. Look at this part here. Artificial intelligence is also used in X-ray machines. X-ray. Generally, this is how an X-ray machine looks like, right? The patient is sleeping. The machine is used to scan, the X-ray. And then there is a chemical process. You have to use a developer, a fixer, a washer, a dryer, and then the X-ray films are ready. Now, the X-ray film is seen by a doctor, by a physician, and he can diagnose and see whether the patient is suffering from any kind of illness. Now, see how artificial intelligence is used. There is a company called as Bison. You can look at the logo at the top, Bison. They create X-rays which are digitized X-ray. That means the X-ray report comes directly on paper. The X-ray report comes on paper. Directly the X-ray comes on paper. No film required, no film. Generally, when you take an X-ray, there is a film required. Now, X-ray digitizer immediately takes an X-ray and makes a paper output from that. Makes a paper output. So the report comes automatically. The report comes automatically using artificial intelligence and machine learning. This is one example. You can see instantly the reports come online using AI ML tools. And this is one example, right? Now, there is another example which I want to share with you. Remote medical treatments. For those villages which are remotely placed, and for those places where there are no doctors, we can use artificial intelligence and machine learning in a big way. I'll show you how. Watch this carefully. Please focus on this carefully. All of us know what is a stethoscope. All of us know what is a stethoscope. This is a digital stethoscope. Digital stethoscope. It is very small. It is very small. You can see. And if you just connect it, if the patient in the remote village, takes the stethoscope and puts it over his chest, the stethoscope will automatically read the heartbeat and all other parameters. And using internet, it will send it to the doctor. So the doctor can sit at a distant location, remote location, and check the readings. It is possible. There is another machine which is for digital blood sugar checking. So you don't have to prick your finger. Generally for checking sugar, you need to prick your finger. Now here you can see on the arm, you need to fix a device. This device checks for blood sugar and sends the reading to your mobile phone using Wi-Fi. And using internet, you can send it to a doctor, and a doctor sits at a remote location. A doctor sits at a remote location, and using computers, using artificial intelligence, using machine learning, they can check the parameter and they can give prediction like the parameters which have been received, whether those parameters are within normal range or out of normal range. So for remote kind of telemedicines, this is possible. There is a disease called as Alzheimer's disease. I don't know how many of you know this. Alzheimer's disease is a disease in which people actually lose their memory. They lose their memory, and here we can play a big role using AI ML, right? In Alzheimer's disease, due to brain cells decay and degeneration, there is a loss of memory. People start losing their memory. This is called as Alzheimer's disease. There are a lot of other symptoms. Now look at this photograph. On the left is a healthy brain. On the left is a healthy brain. On the right is a brain which is having an attack of Alzheimer. Whenever a person suffers from Alzheimer, the brain cell structure is altered. It looks like this, right? And this is the different areas, or these are the different progression in the Alzheimer's disease. A healthy brain, a mild Alzheimer, and a severe Alzheimer. And in this disease, people start forgetting things. Now, look at the screen here. How artificial intelligence can be used is very simple. Using something called as MRI scanning, magnetic resonance imaging. Using MRI scanning, we can scan the brain and we can create an output. We get an output. Now, what output you can see here, these are the brain structures. These are the brain structures, right? The brain cells. Now, using machine learning, we can train a computer to detect abnormal brain cell patterns. We can create a software. People are working on this. I am also doing a research on this. We can train a computer using machine learning to detect abnormal brain cell patterns. If the patterns look like this, they are good. If they don't look like this, they are bad, and so on and so forth. It is easily possible to do this. This is sample code. I don't want to get into code right now. Just hold on. Yeah. There is a code that I have written. With this, we can also do diabetes prediction. If somebody is diabetic, even that can be predicted using machine learning. The code is here. I'll be happy to send the code to you along with the charts and everything. I can show this to you. Because of lack of time, and this is not the forum to share all the code, but after the workshop gets done, I'll give the codes to the organizers. This is one code by which you can check whether there is a diabetes infection, there is a diabetes problem with that particular patient. All right. Now I want to show you something really interesting. Just give me a second. Okay. This is the one I wanted to show you. This is the one I wanted to show you. Coronavirus problem is still everywhere. We are coming to the last part of the talk. I've got only 5 minutes more, and they were ending the talk. Only last 5 minutes. All right. The last 5 minutes and the talk gets done. Coronavirus problem, how are we going to solve it? Here it is. I've done a small research, and from my research, I've found out that we can take X-rays of people, those who got infection of coronavirus. The X-rays can also reveal whether the person is suffering from coronavirus. Look at the left side. People with positive, COVID-19 positive, this is the X-rays of those people. People with COVID negative, those who don't have coronavirus, right? Their X-rays are on the right side. So people with infections of coronavirus, it is on the left side. People without any infection, it is on the right side. These are two X-ray sets. Now, I have written, in fact, it is possible to write a machine learning algorithm. It is possible to write a machine learning algorithm using Python, which can analyze this positive and negative, X-ray images of COVID patients, coronavirus infected patients, and give a report directly. You just have to give the X-rays, and automatically the program will tell whether the person is suffering from any kind of corona infection, whether he is positive or whether he is negative. The last part of my talk, the last part of my talk comes up here. I'm going to show you something shocking. There is something called as pacemaker hacking. Pacemaker hacking. People with heart problems, they have something called as pacemaker. The pacemaker is used to pump the heart, make it okay, and people live a healthy life. Now, what has happened today is the pacemakers fitted into the heart, they have Wi-Fi. They are now working on Wi-Fi. So doctors using mobile phone can connect to the pacemaker and can see, how the heart is functioning. Now, hackers have created a machine learning AI and ML algorithm by which they can interpret the pacemaker signal and they can send a dangerous signal back to the heart. Imagine what I'm trying to say. A person with a pacemaker fitted into the heart, right? That pacemaker contains a Wi-Fi signal, which is radiating the signal out. There are hackers, there are criminals who can interpret this Wi-Fi signal, intercept them, check the pattern, and they can send back dangerous signals. And this can create a sort of a heart attack in that person. So it is absolutely possible. It is absolutely possible for us to do this. It's immediately possible. And here I need to show you something very interesting. Just hold on for a second. Yeah, I'm working on this. I've written a national level paper on this. It's called as brain hacking. This is the last part of my talk. This is called as brain hacking. Now, what is brain hacking? What is brain hacking? Let me quickly tell you this. Our brain generates electricity. Our brain generates electricity. When you think of something, the brain generates electricity. When you think of something, the brain generates electricity. If you're happy, it creates an electricity signal. If you're sad, it creates an electricity signal. So based upon your moods and thoughts, it creates signal. Now, there is something called as BCI. BCI stands for brain-computer interface. BCI stands for brain-computer interface. It looks like this. It's a thing which you have to wear on your head. And once you wear a BCI on your head, that BCI, brain-computer interface, can actually read the signals of your brain. It can read the signals of your brain. Now, using artificial intelligence and machine learning, we can interpret those signals and we can hack the brain. Brain hacking. That means if somebody is thinking of a debit card or an ATM number or a location, the brain generates some kind of electrical pattern. Using artificial intelligence and machine learning, we can interpret that electrical pattern, that brain pattern, and understand what they are thinking. So this brain hacking is a big thing. It's still going on, and I have presented a national paper on this. And that means we can read others' thoughts very easily using this BCI. Now, I want to show you something before I wind up for the day. There is a research going on mind-controlled robots. That means using the brain-computer interface, we can control the lights and televisions and everything by thought. We can just think, right? We can think the fan should become on and the fan becomes on. We can think the TV should become on, the TV becomes on. We can increase the brightness of the television using just our thoughts, right? The day is going to come, all of you look at number 2, the day is going to come when we will not use WhatsApp. No WhatsApp will be used, no email will be used, no telephone calls, no mobile. We are going to communicate brain to brain. We are going to communicate brain to brain using something called as BCI, brain-computer interface. And let me tell you, this brain-computer interface, it looks like this. It looks like this. It's a device, and there is a company called as MindWave. This company is based in America. You have to wear this on your head, and it can actually record your brain signals. It can record your brain signals and show it on a laptop. It can record your brain signals and show it on a laptop or on a tab. So the future is going to change in a big way. Maybe in the next 5 years, maybe in the next 10 years, maybe in the next 15 years, we will not use WhatsApp, we're not going to use email, we're not going to use mobile. Everybody will be wearing a headset. All of us are going to wear a headset, a headband, and using the headset, using the headband, we are going to communicate with each other. It's a mental telepathy. It's going to be a telepathy. And very soon, this is going to happen. And if that happens, we are going to have hackers. We are going to have a lot of hackers, and we can read each other's thoughts also. The problems are plenty. The answers are plenty. But we have to wait for the future to come, because I'm personally working on such a mind control device. This I have with me. If you look at the screen, this MindWave thing, which you can see, brain-computer interface, I have with me, and I'm doing a lot of experiments with this. But I'm sure, I'm telling you, the day is going to come in the future when we are going to communicate with each other using mental telepathy. We are going to use telepathy to communicate. Using brains, we are going to communicate through the internet. Of course, we have to be careful about the hackers. Now, with this, all of you, I've taken a lot of your time. I've shown something to you about AI's use in medical technology, in healthcare. I've shown to you the basics of AI. But let me tell you something, and I want to admit it to you. A topic such as artificial intelligence and machine learning is a big topic. It takes 40 hours, 60 hours, 60 hours, 100 hours to learn with the code, with the classifiers, with everything. It was not possible to cover within 2 days everything in a matter of 2.5 hours span each day. But whatever possible, whatever applications we can use using AI ML, and whatever possible I managed to show in these 2 days to you. If you need something, if you require something more than this, right? You can get in touch with the organizers. We can have another such faculty development program in the future. Now, my number is listed below. You can see my mobile number, 98215280022. That's my mobile number. My number is also on WhatsApp. That's also my WhatsApp number. So that's my mobile number. That's my WhatsApp number. If you require any kind of training or workshops at your end, at your college, online, offline, whatever, you can get in touch with me. I am Harish Chandar. I am the founder, the director of India Tech Company. And thanks a lot, all of you. Thanks for coming here. Thanks for these 2 days you have given your attention. And I know that today we had a lot of things to cover and we had very less time to cover this. But I promise that in the future, maybe the organizers will come up with an FDP with more number of days where we can cover similar or better topics than this. With this, all of you, I end my session, I end my workshop today. Thanks a lot for coming, and organizers, I'm handing over this back to you.
Yes, Beena ma'am. Beena ma'am.
Thank you so much, sir. On behalf of IT and CS department, it's been very informative 2 days with you. And I am sure our participants are taking with them a lot of information. And as you have already shared your number and your mail ID as and when required, they will definitely get in touch with you.
Yes.
And
Thanks
we
a
will
lot.
also be looking forward to keeping many more such workshops with you in
Thanks.
future. Thank
Thanks
you
a lot,
so much for having us.
Thanks a lot,
for
madam.
being here.
And I'll thank KC College and the IT department of University of Mumbai for having organized this FDP. Thanks a lot.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Thanks,
Yeah.
Thank you.
Beena ma'am, tomorrow's timing.
Ma'am.
Hello.
About tomorrow's timing.
Yes.
Yeah, ma'am.
Yes. Actually, tomorrow's session
Let
will
the
be starting
session
from
end.
3 o'clock.
Yeah. Just tell everybody about tomorrow's session, please.
Yes, this is to inform everyone that tomorrow's session will be from 3 p.m. till 5:30.
The message is also put it in WhatsApp group.
Thank you, sir, for your very nice session. From the feedback we have received, we can see that your sessions on both the days have been very popular. Everyone has appreciated the session. Thank you, sir. Thank you once more. All your effort have really helped us to learn in a highly interesting manner. Thank you, sir.
Shall we end the session, ma'am? Rakhi ma'am?
Ma'am, can we end the meeting?
Yes, we can end the session now.
Yes.
Okay.